unmute. I can. All right, so people can hear you now. Let's figure out this little thing, and then we're good enough to go. Shut the fuck up, YouTube.
Never.
Damn. YouTube, I said shut the fuck up. Well, I don't know what you're doing. Alright. Good. Oh, yeah, that'd be helpful.
Sorry.
Alright, if you could please pull this up, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty, let's do this. Alright, hopefully everything will go through and everything will work out the way it should. Can you see that one? Perfect. Alright. Let's hope for the best and let's get this going. So, if I could have each and every one of you all gather around the table and let me tell you all a Voden fable. To gather around for the tale of these survivors, for this, my friends, is the fable of a looming corruption, and this is infamous tale of the descent into the dunes. Our heroes would return in the ruins afar amongst the forbidden expanse. Upon discovering the shadowy, looming figure, they'd find the new likes of a new soul, willing and able to join the crew of chaos. Their name, Alexandria Van Blunderhound, a Bearkin punk rock bard from the cyberpunk planet known as Zandora. This individual had been sent by Vitalia and Mimir to awaken and inspire the gods in their battle against the corruption. However, the first god to be awakened, being the goddess of gravity herself, a lesser god known as Gravitas. With that, the heroes would accept her in joining the crew, and they'd prepare for the kindred spirit's arrival by bathing for the first time in years, while also going to procure any resources for survival. However, upon searching some of the ruins for resources, Rokaz, the Dragonborn Ranger, would discover something unsettling. A memory of the past signaling Voden's end. Looking up towards the sky, they'd witness the sky crack and shatter, and breaking through the glass prism was land masses itself seeking to bury all of Voden. With this staggering realization, the heroes would exit the ruins and look towards the sky to see what their fate would be. This fate, however, well, we'll have to find out exactly what that might look like in Session 25 of Soulbound, Descent into the Dunes. For that, my friends, we pick back up exactly where we left off, however, from a different location, a different place, and with a different person. Let me show you what I mean in just a second. So, as we look over, let me play this. Alright. As we look over, we seek to find a soul who has been missing in action for the time being. However, despite them not necessarily being in the Forbidden Expanse, their adventures, their journeys, take them to the plane of dreams, the Keeper's realm, Keeper's area. You look over towards Fabio, an individual, it's a backseat cleric. However, as we look over towards them, Fabio, let me explain exactly what you see. Looking around, you notice as a welcome surprise of an explosion of color that you are very, very used to. The bright sort of contrasting sort of tones and more the strange sort of aura that is all too almost normal for you. You look over about. With that, you find yourself in the Feywild. But not exactly the Feywild you remember, no. This seems to be something different. Something changed, but still a welcome representation of what it could be. As we look over to there, 1 second, let me change one little thing, and I got you. Bam, bam, bam. Have to switch sort of things for you. But looking about, you would notice as there is bits of water sort of going about, strange almost bubbles and stars that seem to be floating about in abundant. Not necessarily sure what it all means or what it does. You look over and you find the keeper by your side, kind of watching you as you go about this entire land and area. This, my friend, is what you see all around. You look over and as it does, birds or other strange fey-like creatures begin to fly about. Other lights begin to blossom and bloom. And with that, Fabio, what would you say or do as you have a time and a moment to yourself?
I must say, very nicely done, darling. It feels almost like home here. Quite beautiful. I didn't expect with your dark attire that you'd be into this kind of place, but very well done, I must say, darling.
See, as you begin to say this, the keeper begins to sort of aloofly, as they appear in one sort of area, they appear in another area, but they look over towards you, and as they do, well, this is up to the soul's sort of imagination. But as the soul-bound become more and more powerful, a bit of our tricks, a bit of our power can be revealed to you. For example, most of the soul-bound, they would never remember such a thing. You and a couple of other individuals who have stumbled upon this realm by accident, they have been able to remember, but it is not an easy task. So, while you are here, enjoy yourself for the time, but do not take too much time, as adventure calls and adventure awaits. With that, go ahead.
Very well, very well. Well, I have to thank you for this little rest here. It's quite a nice respite from those terrible, terrible sands.
It is not the greatest, but... I bid you, at least, farewell for now, and I will get back to you. You have a good one. You'll see they do a gracious sort of bow, and with that, they begin to sort of vanish in an astral light, Fabio.
He's gonna take a big breath in and out and kind of relax a little bit, finally have a moment to himself. Well, now that we're alone, I guess I can do a little something that I've been doing in my life. So you'll see he's gonna pick a spot where there's the most so if I understood correctly, Foundry's not working for us right now, so we'll just like let you know where we want to move and kind of
yeah, you kind of just gave me a general idea. And if you ever want me to like zoom out the map and all that sort of stuff, then by all means go for it.
Okay. So he's gonna pick a spot that's very lush and full of colors. Probably like across the bridge, there's like flowers and stuff.
That's what I was kind of thinking as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect.
So,
all right.
So as you begin to sort of cross over the likes of this sort of bridge, you can see all the bits of wildlife and more, but eventually you stand and find the perfect spot right here. That said, Fabio, what would you say or do now?
So he's gonna start by casting fairy fire all around him, so that the bright colors become even more bright and sparkly and glittery. It's a good base, a good base. And he's gonna, let's see if we can do this. He's gonna cast Disguise Self, and with a big flourish, he's gonna turned into something else.
Oh. Yo.
Huh.
So,
What the hell?
actually, let me show you the whole thing. Because
Oh my
obviously,
God.
I got the whole thing.
As you do, as typical cat fashion. Oh my God.
My word.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah.
Here,
So,
this one. Yeah, this
the
works.
big outfit. Yeah, alright, perfect. So he's gonna poof in his normal attire is gonna disappear, and you're gonna see he's got this corset made out of that basically looks like a butterfly. Like, sorry,
All
let me
good.
pull back a little closer here. So he's got this this corset that's looks like a butterfly with all sparkly and iridescent, and he's got a big poofy tutu around him that's got stars on the tutu. In good Fabio fashion, it is very glittery. It is little butterflies, but if you look more closely, you can see that it's actually little pixie wings that are dotted all over his form. So he's gonna sit down in the middle of the circle he's made. He's gonna take out the rocks that Ingot gave him, the icy ocean rock. He's gonna place that in front of him. He's gonna take out different little baubles, little glittery baubles that he had in his pack. Obviously, I have props. Just a bunch of little dangly, sparkly things. It's gonna take out a big mess of ropes that you can see that it's got the butterfly symbol of Ambrosi in the middle. Just a collection of strings and ropes, and he's gonna set that down in front of him. And take a big breath. Gather himself and say, "Most magnificent Lady Ambrosi, gorgeous embodiment of grace and love, glittering jewel of the Feywild, I implore you to turn your luminous gaze to your humble servant. Please, my lady, come to me." As just waves of glitter spread from him and around him.
And as you begin to do so, you look over, and Fabio, here's what I need you to do. I need you to roll, basically, yeah, this is equivalent. You're not actually like making a wisdom saving throw, but you're just basically using the same modifier. You with me? So I need you to make or a quote-unquote wisdom saving throw and do it with advantage and a +5. Tell me what you get total.
Advantage +5. Alright, so...
So it's going to be a +11 total.
Alright. Okay, so 14 plus 11, that's 25.
25. 5. As you begin to do so, you see as the environment begins to shift, begins to change for a moment. And as it begins to do so, all around you alters as the lady herself graces you with her own presence. But I didn't fucking make that character, nor did I play it. Hey Ambrosi, join chat for me, please.
Oh, here we go.
Yo.
And with that, Ambrosi, you are muted over on the thingy, but on Discord. There you go. There you go.
Hi.
So, Ambrosi, as you hear this call from your worthy worshiper and more, you see as they have gained your attention, But how would you like to grace them? What do you do or say in this moment in time? What do you alter with the environment?
Well, the first thing Fabio will notice is that the fairy fire he cast, as the flames, they flicker, the fire, right? It slows down. Everything around you comes into a slow motion, like eventually, when it embraces you completely, it comes to a halt. You see as the flickers, the sparkles, everything just embraces you so nicely, and you feel warmth, incredible warmth, as if someone was embracing you, but not just one person, but many, plenty, hundreds of little fey hands just come out, reach out to you, embrace you with love and warmth. And as the flames settle, you see from around you, basically, as if coming from the very inside of your core, you see a light emanating. And then you hear over your shoulder,
You look nice. Hi.
Ah, your luminous tones delight me. Oh, I missed you so much. I missed you. Ah, thank you, darling, but I could never be as glorious and gorgeous as you, my dear lady. Ah, it
Oh, no,
fills me with joy to be surrounded by your love.
But I'm always around you. Why would you miss me? I'm always looking over your shoulder and keeping tabs on you.
Ah,
You don't need to miss me.
Of course, you're so right, my darling. I always do feel your presence, but to see you in the flesh and in your embodiment, it's such an incredible treat. I'm so happy.
I am also happy. I'm so glad to finally meet you in person.
Yes, we've heard a lot of each other, but darling, I have to tell you what has been going on. As you, of course, probably know, I've been meeting a lot of friends. And
Oh,
let me
just
tell
give me
a moment, and I will flick my hand, and 2 cups of tea appear. And I will reach out and offer you a little basket filled with sugar cubes and some milk in case you want some.
I have other options. Is tea okay?
Of course, darling. Tea is my absolute favorite. My apologies, I didn't offer it to you faster, but I'm flustered. You must understand.
Me too, honestly. I'm so happy, as I said, to finally meet you in person.
Yes. So let me tell you about all the friends that I've made. Yes.
Yes, go on.
Yes. So I've met Auroraverse and Zephyr. I think you probably know them. They're bearkin, children of yours, and absolutely lovely folks. Of course, your children are always so wonderful, and we didn't talk about this one, but I've met one of your lovers of the meadow. Oh, darling, I must say, you have excellent taste. He's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And he sends his regards. I don't know if you've seen him since the last time I've seen him, but he sends his regards and his love. And I gave him a little tip to make you happy by giving you something shiny. So you should be getting a little gift from him soon. Just a little token of his appreciation.
Yeah.
And I've met this gorgeous Myconid that has the most incredible goals in life, that he wants to become a mountain. And of course, I introduced him to your loveliness and your grace, and so he's well on his way to become a monument to your love. I hope you're proud of me, darling.
Oh God, I cannot express how proud I am. Can I repay you somehow your act of service?
Well, just your presence and your grace is payment enough, my darling. But I'm thinking that these lands, darling, are way more dangerous than what I expected them to be. I thought this was going to be just a little romp in a new realm, but it turns out it's quite dangerous, and so I'm wondering if you could help me. There's in our group we found a lot of metal that the others seem to are quite fond of, but of course metal is. So I was wondering if we could maybe craft a shield with this disgusting material, and of course, by your grace, if you could bless it with luminescence and turn it into crystal, which would be a lot better for an envoy of your grace.
Yes. Yes. Let's do it.
Amazing. All right. Gary, are you here?
As you begin to scream out for Gary's name, you'll begin to see a little bit of ruffling of the bushes and more. And Ambrosi, for the first time kind of seeing them in person, you've seen them in your travels and more, but you look over and you find a smaller sort of spirit, a smaller circular individual with a little bit of a mailman's hat and a giant mail bag at their side. They pass through all this sort of crazy fake bullshit, and they look over as like, hey Fabio, what's up?
Hello, darling. Would you, by any chance, have any of my party's metal material?
You just want metal specifically, or no?
We'll be turning into something better. Don't worry. So just
okay.
Fine.
Yeah. You'll see as he kind of starts ruffling through the bag and just begins to pull out the normal sort of shield and metal and all this other stuff. And be like, here you go. Just kind of offers it to you. Doesn't know anything.
Fabio's gonna grab it from the very tip of his claws, not actually touching it to his skin, and just like, thank you, darling. That's quite appreciated.
Yeah, glad I could be a service to you and everything. If you need anything else, then just you just let me know, okay?
Absolutely, you've been a darling. Thank you.
All right. Now how the fuck? Wait, they kind of stare over at you. I'll DM you some stuff, Ambrosi, but that you would be able to see with your true sight. But regardless, Gary's gonna just kind of stare off at you for a second and then begin to slowly vanish before saying, "Holy shit, that's Ambrosi!"
I'll wave as he leaves, like little
Twinkle, twinkle, wave.
But Fabio, as you have the shield, is there anything you'd like to do with it?
Alright, so, well, I don't really know what I could do with this, but let's kind of place it, and he's gonna like place the pieces so that it forms kind of the shape of a shield, even though it's just like scraps of metal. And darling, after you.
Once it's my cue, I will come closer.
Mm-hmm.
Tip tap, and I will sit down on the grass right next to the items that form the shield, and then I gesture to Fabio to come closer and sit by my side, like I'm just tapping the grass right next to me.
Come here.
He girls down as much as he can, because I mean, like, he's 6'7", so he's gonna as much as he can curl down next to you.
Yeah. So this is how we are going to do this. I am going to infuse this whole thing with magic and glitter. Yeah? This will have the amount of your zazz, whatever you have, your dazzling personality. It will be carried within this very shield. Is that okay?
Amazing. Of course, anything you'd want. And you can like for anybody else, like Fabio's always been excited and excitable for everything, but he is ecstatic at this moment. Like he is shaking. He's like glitter is just like raining off of his shoulders, like without him even realizing. He's just so excited and like mesmerized by every single one of your words. Let's do this.
And I will reach out and take a hold of your hand. And then I will make contact with what appears to be shield. And as you see in front of you, all these things that you just laid down on the grass, they start moving, sizzling towards the center. And slowly, gradually, before you, you see how the shield takes form and shape, it crystallizes. And as she said that it will contain your own very own sparkling and mesmerizing essence, you see like the very inside is like cosmos, swirling stars. And yes, and as you take a closer look, you can see that they're not just there. They move. The little stars that appear, they fade in, they fade out. And around that shield, she will make a frame, and on the very bottom of the frame, she will engrave two little figures. One is hers, the other one is yours.
And this way, nobody will ever suspect that this shield does not belong to you. This is yours. Yeah?
Amazing. I will carry it with the utmost reverence. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Now, question. It's more of, I can explain this as it's been a while, and you never really got to know like how things sort of work being an actual god in the Auroraverse and more. Now, Ambrosi, you have the ability to bestow many boons, blessings, and all that sort of stuff, dude. Random sort of bits and items and baubles and all that sort of stuff. Now, granted, you can only do this a certain amount of times or certain amounts as you need, or that is the point of champions of Ambrosi and all that sort of stuff, more than followers. However, as you've noticed throughout the likes of your multiple OnlyFans followers and subscribers, that there's been only 2 individuals who have actually been able to really spread the name and your glory across the likes of the realms. This being the likes of Fabio, and the other one being Gore of the Meadows. Now, the choice is yours, or if you want to wait and make them sort of earn it a little bit later, you can choose to give them a small boon, aka a +1 to whatever item they kind of want, or you can just fuck with them and just be like, nah, you gotta earn it later. The choice is really yours. You can kind of do whatever you want. But that is an innate ability that any sort of god can kind of do, if that is what you're trying to do. So, I send the offer. What would you like to do?
Oh, well, this is a good question. I imagine that this is a place where cats would need to give their input. Would you like it now or later?
I was just expecting a regular ass shield that glitters, so anything is a bonus. It's up to you. I guess you're my goddess.
Well, I would say I'm going to be generous tonight and to an item, I suppose. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Yeah, and don't forget to spread the word.
Yes. To everyone I meet, my darling.
Everyone.
Yes. All must know your glory. All must bask in your light and your glitter and your luminescence.
Sensei,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Can I... Well, it's not really necessarily magical, but can I infuse Fabio with a glow that's unique to all followers? Well, first follower, which I'm going to infuse this with, of Ambrosia, that anyone who sees Fabio, they will see this ethereal glow. Not maybe extremely big, but something to recognize them by.
I think I could work with that. Maybe not to everybody, but to certain individuals, devotees, and more. I think I can work with that. Yeah. So, here's what this would happen, or here's how this would happen. Fabio, as you get this final sort of thing, the last thing that can kind of actually like physically leave this realm with you, because nothing really can leave the realms of the dreams and all that sort of stuff, unless interventions between the divine. You would see as there is this sort of glittery hue that surrounds you. It's very, very faint, and it's not to just the common sight sort of eye. It's more of a specific type of sight. A specific sight only granted to the likes of, well, Ambrosie's most proud warriors and followers and more. Now, the only way someone would be able to even see this or notice it would be as if you were a worshiper of Ambrosie. It's kind of like a secret sort of fan club thing, but nothing more. Doesn't do much else than that, though.
The most loyal OnlyFans subscribers get that.
That's like diamond tier and above.
Yeah.
I always thought that like Fabio would be more of like the admin or like the moderator of the page.
He gets a discount.
Yeah, you get a discount, you get a shield. Yeah, you're an administrator of that page now.
Beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Full-time job while adventuring, so you need to take a look at your schedule now.
Oh yeah, totally. Yep, he's ready. Give him all the tasks.
So.
Yeah, and before you go, don't forget to hug your companions. All of them.
Good.
God.
And tell them to have a good day, or else.
I will.
And with that, Ambrosie, Fabio, you look over and the Keeper begins to slowly arrive right off to the side, looking at you all. You see as they begin to slowly envelop before looking over towards you to kind of flag you down, Ambrosie, before getting ready to get Fabio's attention and escort them out. They kind of motion you forward. Do you arrive to them? Easy enough. You'll see as the Keeper begins to look over and speak towards you and say, a pleasure to make my acquaintance, Lady Ambrosie. I do have a bit of news from the likes of the Keeper sect. Apparently, an individual is making a couple of things in your name. Now, though you have a bit of free time in this moment, if you could possibly, I wouldn't say handle the situation, but more so work your magic that you typically are known for. I can give you the location if you wish.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you again, oh gracious one.
I will reach out and hug his leg, because this is pretty much the only place I probably can reach without flying.
Yeah.
Still short.
Yeah. And as you begin to do so, You'll see as Ambrosi, you begin to hug the massive keeper before eventually, Fabio, you'd look over and you'd see as the ground, the environment all around them begins to slowly envelop Ambrosi for a second. The druidic nature and wildlife all consumes, begins to wrap around Ambrosi before you slowly vanish into the rest of the Feywild and more. Go ahead.
I wave for a final time at Fabio and just say,
I will always keep my eye on you. Be good.
Never good, darling. See
Oh, you know what
soon.
I mean. Yes.
With that, Ambrosi begins to vanish, and Fabio, you'll look over towards the keeper as they kind of hold their cloak open, waiting for you to join them.
He's gonna stride in to the cloak.
Easy enough. And as you do, the both of you begin to vanish out from this plane of dreams replicating the Feywild and more, to that, the lands of Voden, or wherever your adventures take you. And that, thank you again, Ambrosi. Thank you for being able to show up, especially on short notice. We got there! We were planning it for a month, but we finally got there at the end of it.
yeah, thank you for having me. It was such a great fun.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh,
I'm
man.
so happy.
I was waiting for it, believe it or not. I was so anxiously waiting for this day to finally to come.
It's been a long time coming, yep.
Okay, and I guess on final note, have good fun, guys. I hope
Thank you.
you will become heroes, and
Don't forget to subscribe.
Oh, man. You take care. You take
Oh,
care.
beautiful.
yeah, see you.
See ya.
Alright. And with that, as we leave, the gracious, wonderful chaos that is the Feywild and more, now we go to the hot hell known as the Forbidden Expanse, baby! Woo! Good lord.
I don't want to go back to voting. I don't want to go back to voting.
It doesn't matter what you want to do, it's what you're gonna do.
Oh my god, now I gotta make a shield.
Oh boy.
Oh god! That's gonna be some work.
You may or may not have a craftsman in your party.
True. That is true.
No, I mean like IRL.
A real
Oh,
pump shield.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
For like the whole cosplay thing. I got most of the props now, so.
So, Fabio, as you eventually emerge off to the side, you look over and Navra, Rokaz, Ingot, and Alexandria. You look over and you see as Fabio returns, but up in the sky, you notice as it shatters, it cracks, it breaks immediately. But what you would assume to be a visage of day arriving, that does not necessarily appear. That does not necessarily happen. Instead, you look up, and what you find is the legs of a starry-filled sky of night with an eclipse up above. It stares down at you all, and you notice as bits of starlight begins to slowly emerge and begins to flake off to the ground, flake to the water, flake even towards yourselves before eventually dissipating and disappearing and more. It smells strange, but so is the realm of Voden. Look about yourselves, and the Keeper even seems intrigued, but regardless, they look over towards Fabio, they look over towards the descent, they do a gracious bow before they vanish, and wait for your next adventure when a keeper is called. As this happens, let's start off with you five. Navro, Rokaz, Ingot, Alexandria, is there anything that you would immediately say or do noticing Fabio return or the stars above and the eclipse in the sky
Ingot would try to interact with the keeper as per usual.
Trying to call out for them? They just resummon them?
Still trying to do the trading with the keeper, and he has some questions for them.
Easy enough. We'll see as you begin to call him back over off here. And as you do, you kind of catch him right before he's getting ready to sort of vanish and leave. He begins to eventually vanish over off to your left, or to your right. With that, Ingot, what do you ask the keeper?
Does you have shinies for sale?
Yes and no. Let me explain. So, here's what I have. I am in the works of, how you say, gathering weapons and such, or gathering items that you all may feel as if it's favorable. But there is a bit of issues, as I myself won't actually be able to make them. Here, Ingot, if you will, gather around and I can tell you a couple of things and explain it to you.
Ingot would move closer.
You got it. As you do, you kind of just look over towards the keeper, almost basically like exactly eye level to him. And as they're getting ready to sort of have that conversation, I just want to make sure everybody so I have a general idea of what they're getting ready to do. Rokaz, Navro, and Alexandria, are you individuals doing anything, or are you listening towards the keeper?
Navro is currently writing down his gaze spell, but as he sees Fabio come in, the head comes up immediately. But it's gives a bit more of a reassured look before looking Fabio in the eye, kind of tipping the hat. Nice shield. You didn't have that before.
Thank you. It's my darling Ambrosie that treated her favorite follower.
I see. Only gold subscriptions usually get that. That's not canon. You wouldn't know. Navro has 23 intelligence. He doesn't know what sex is.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
God.
One day he'll figure out that magic that people use to make babies. But for now it escaped him.
It's a 9th level spell and he doesn't understand it.
It must be a modified clone spell.
but yeah, he does. He kind of looks to Fabio, says the nice shield, and looking at the keeper, just kind of looks at the interaction between Ingot and the keeper, and is looking to see what is being done. But as he's doing this, he's looking down, looking up. He's constantly trying to write this spell down.
Yeah.
For the fact that he's doing this very often, can we have the imagery that he has two bits of charcoal that he's writing down? He's ambidextrous and he's just going at it with both hands.
Just easy enough. All right. So that being said, that's what Navro's sort of doing. Fabio, are you responding to what Navro said?
Yeah, so just saying it's a gift from Ambrosie, and sorry, brain bubble. Yes, my darling Ambrosie took care of me, so I think I'll get hurt a lot less than I have. What did I miss? Did anything happen while I was gone? And actually, so can I see Alexandria?
Unless you're hiding, I don't think you would be, Alexandria. Yeah, you'd probably be able to see Fabio and vice versa, right?
Yeah, I'm not hiding.
Alright, before we get into that, was Ingot doing a thing first with the Keeper?
Ingot's doing a thing with the Keeper, and then we gotta go to Rokaz, or what are you saying or doing?
Adrian?
If you're speaking, your mic's muted, but not on Discord.
Try that again. Okay.
There you go.
When the sky did its thing, Prokus probably would have paused and waited, and then seeing as it wasn't what he thought it was going to be, just would have visibly more relaxed and just, I'm starting to not like this anymore. Now, bro, what has time got to be all fucky?
Time isn't all fucky. It's at least in Voden, it's a bit discordant. This isn't usually how it is, but something is up. Yes.
No, time's all fucky here.
Oh, time is always changing and fucky, as you say. But, time is irrelevant.
Would I be able to just as we're chatting? Can I very quickly, as I'm looking at the shield that Ambrosi had blessed Fabio with an Arcana check? Would I be able to interface what has been done to it?
Yeah, I can make a quick Arcana check. Just like a quick glance.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll Arcana. That is a oh shit. Hold on.
He's doing it again. I rolled a 38, but I swear. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Look at what I'm fucking. It's a natural 20. It's a 32. And just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna roll knowledge of a past life, so I know everything about this fucking shield.
Oh my god. Okay.
He was there when it was built.
He was there.
He was behind the tree.
I was looking. That's a 3. So that is a 35. Sensei, tell me about this shield.
You actually rolled higher than the amount of sessions we've had. Oh man. All right. So, with that, it's a +1 fucking shield. What do you want from it? I don't know who's this.
Nice. There we go. That's what I needed.
I mean, besides that, you'd easily be able to tell it's heavily enhanced by divine magic, but that's really all it can be.
Cool.
Yeah, bits of chaos magic, but yeah, all you got.
All right.
Can you tell what flavor it is just from looking at it?
Roll a D100, Seth.
Alright, I gotta remember how to roll shit in D&D Beyond.
Oh boy. Actually, I got an idea.
Right. I rolled a 24.
24? Alright. It's grape flavored. You can tell. You can actually smell it.
Grape.
Grape flavored shield.
That's getting written down.
Is that blackcurrant? I don't think grape is a flavor over here. Unless it is, and I just don't know.
Well, it is definitely not like blackcurrant, I can answer that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's such a thing called grape juice. Have you never heard of it?
Yeah, like Concord grape juice. Like the good kind, not like the cheap kind, but the good kind that's like a really dark color and it's like that like
even then
15,
Welchers...
like $12. Yeah, like $12 a little bottle. Good stuff.
Hell no, what are you talking about?
The really, really good grape juice.
Ridiculously. Okay.
It's like super expensive, but it's really, really good.
Have you just eaten like a grape before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know, but like grape juice as a thing. Maybe it's something different here. I'm just fucking crazy, or maybe we just call it grape juice, and I have no idea.
Pete's actually a psycho. No, I'm kidding.
I'm crazy. I'm fucking crazy.
Fucking wild.
To call it wine, but yeah.
You have lost favor with Alexandria for not knowing grape juice.
So if Fabio sees that Ingrid is eyeing his shield, he'll say, "Oh, darling, I know this looks like a snack, but this is my shiny. That I'm gonna keep it. All right? Is that okay with you? So do not eat this shiny, okay?"
See, seeing it like kind of side eyes you.
I know it looks delicious, but here, I've got a little something for you. And he's gonna pull out the mana crystal that he got as payment for his bartending job
Oh yeah.
with the Voden Knights. And I was not told if it was active or not. Or I can't remember if it was active or not.
The funnier narrative is that it is, so we're gonna go with it is.
Amazing. So he's gonna hand that to Ingot and say, "Here, you can eat this one, but do not eat this one. Are we understood?"
Thanks.
Of course, darling. And hands him the mana crystal.
Alright, sort of toss it over or hands it over to him. Easy enough. Let me move your token so you're not super far away from everybody. Alright, let's move this over here and move you guys over there. Bam, 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 bam. Cool. Alright, so as this is sort of happening, Rokaz, was there anything else you want to try to do before we go over to Alexandria?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Alexandria, are you trying to do anything as you notice this extravagant individual emerging? The rest of the party seems to know, but what do you do?
Yes, this massive bearkin will approach the figure in front of her.
Oh, also...
You're too flamboyant to be a runner. Perhaps Corpo?
Corpo. Right. One question before we start this. So I know she's got this more futuristic aesthetic around her. Apart from like the guitar, does she have like parts that are very technological on her?
You can notice that there's these strange metallic bits buried in her arms. Second off, you do know that you can't really tattoo fur, but yet there it is.
Okay, so she's got metal pieces embedded in her?
Yes, on several locations. You'll notice that she has a cord in her left wrist, kind of poking out slightly, and a device on her right arm, which doesn't seem to be on at the moment.
Yes. Perfect. So as you said that you're too shiny to be a runner, maybe Corpo. Fabio's eyes are gonna light up, looking at your face, and oh, wonderful, another bear. And as his eyes travel down, and he realizes that you've got bits of metal sticking out of you, and wires, and all that, he's gonna start taking a step back and another metal person. Very uncomfortable and
Alexandria, you'd probably interpret that she's thinking that she's referring to like metal as in like the genre. Like more so your get-up and aesthetic rather than the actual physical metal.
Yeah, probably. What, you got a problem with metal?
it's not my favorite material, I have to say.
Material?
Yes.
What, you run a band as well?
I was in a band, actually, now that you mention it, a few years ago, but didn't stay in it quite long. But what does it have to do with a band? I'm talking about the... Doesn't it hurt?
Oh, you mean my cybernetics?
Cybernetics.
She
God,
says
I
a lot
love-
of words that don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
Brainiac over there is having a hard time.
Oh, okay, so I'm not the only one. Excellent, excellent.
To give you an idea, she doesn't really know much about magic, so that's where we're at the ground floor on.
Okay, well, not everybody can have magical abilities, but are you here to kill me?
I'm sorry. What?
Just wondering, darling, if that's your purpose.
To kill you?
Well, you do. I'm sorry to say, darling, but you do look a little scary.
Navro's going to look up from his writing and, like, looking at you, Fabio. You hear the guttural voice say again, "Are you like a racist to cast iron steel? What is your problem?"
Oh, not racist. It's just I haven't been around metal beings that much.
Listen,
I have a
it's not-
question. Hold on. I have a question. So Fabio has heard this voice in their head before, and they've responded in their head before, but does Fabio, like, make motions as they're kind of, like, talking in their head, or no?
The thing is, the telepathy, unless Fabio has some form of telepathy,
Okay.
she's saying this out loud as, like, Navro's, like, looking at her, which, honestly, in this context, like, wouldn't...
hilarious.
Navro's just looking and she's like, "I'm not racist. I'm not.
Yes.
That's how
Okay,
it seems.
even better. All right.
That, like, basically, like, he's like heard this voice before and, like, has understood that, like, it's he can't
way.
speak to it
Yeah.
back. But right now he's, like, flustered with Alexandria and kind of forgets that not everybody heard that. So he just blurts it out loud.
Listen, the amount of tech in me. I've got way more than just iron in here. She taps her chest. You can hear a slightly metallic ting.
Oh. Is that painful?
The surgery was, but you get used to it after a while.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay. But I apologize, darling. My manners lacked. I've had a. Oh my dear,
I
I've
was a
had a lot of
Terminator?
emotions. Terminator. I don't know what that is, but I've had a lot of emotions in the past few minutes, so I apologize. But what is your name, darling?
Alexandria. My friends call me Alex.
Alex. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, darling. I am Fabio Foxlove Frederick Vin Flamel. You're quite sure that you don't have any ill will towards us?
Nah, I was sent here by Vitalia. Supposed to meet up with y'all.
Vitalia. Yes, I've heard that name. Seems
It's
like a lovely
the-
person.
Valkyrie that we are trying to find as well in this area.
Ah, very well. And does Fabio does he believe Alexandria when they say that they don't mean any harm?
To them,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
harm at all.
Yeah.
To everyone else, probably.
Oh. Okay.
And what do you mean by everybody else? Like,
Like enemies, like
Yeah.
the Big C.
yeah.
Oh, I meant like towards Fabio.
No.
Does Alexandria have look
No.
like they have any ill will?
Nah, but to anybody in the immediate area, nah. But yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, in a new land, it is normal that I meet different people. I must get accustomed to that. But you say that this Vitalia sent you, then well, I guess we will be travel companions for a while. In that case.
I guess so. I hope you're into rock and metal. Or you better
Rock,
get used to it.
I definitely enjoy rock, especially crystal, and pointing at his shield. It is quite gorgeous and has different textures and all that. As much into metal, it's distasteful to me. But rock, definitely I love.
I think we're on the wrong page.
Well,
Oh, sure.
aren't
Pages
we
exist where you're
in
from.
the same? Aren't we in the same adventure in the same book? completely
going to-
not understanding what's
Dead face looking at Atlas. Makes a mage hand underneath the wizard mask of him, like.
They're gonna look over and they're just like, well, I kind of like matter. Oh. Kind of
Oh,
shrugs.
you want a page? I think Navra would have one for you.
Lord, listen. Most books are gone from where I'm from. We use
Oh.
devices called tablets.
Like rock?
Yes,
No.
like a rock tablet that you write commandments on.
This is a living nightmare.
Alice is gonna
In the
just.
Stone Age.
Alice is gonna just. Okay, he sees where this is gonna be going for a while. He's gonna just. He's gonna look over and kind of just examine like your notebook, see like, hey buddy, what are you doing? More so like that type of thing. Not necessarily say anything, but just kind of like, I'm gonna be over here with you.
Well, Navra would be writing both. One second.
See
Okay.
that spell book right there? The man's writing in, or whatever it is.
Yeah, the thing with pages.
Yeah, imagine that, but 400,000 times more books in one tiny thing.
Oh, Never would
Oh.
like that. How big is that book?
Like
Sorry.
Portable.
Well, I mean, that's portable too.
so,
Yeah,
like a
but you
book
can't
of
have-
holding.
Alright.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yes,
to
but
put
it
over.
uses lightning.
Wait. So are you telling me you put lightning in a rock and made it think?
Damn right.
Clever.
This is what
Quite
I've been
clever.
waiting for all of Soulbound. Oh,
Everywhere I go, it's going to be a living nightmare from now on.
Me put lightning in chest, and it's going to point to the fucking orb that's
You're
just
right.
glowing.
Is
You know
Ingot a
what? You
tablet?
passed step 1. Now you just need a motherboard and some circuitry.
A motherboard? Wait, is that where little boards come from?
Nah, it's a plastic disc with gold inlays. You know what? I'm gonna stop there.
Bless.
Then why is it a board?
Maybe one day we'll find one, and I can show
Oh,
you.
it's unamused. Mama is unamused. Motherboard. Mother is.
I get it.
Alice is gonna
help.
smack his face to a rock. Nah, fuck with you.
Please, for the love of God, tell me you at least know what that is. Looking at Atlas.
Yeah, I do. I sadly do.
Thank you. At least someone has passed the Bronze Age.
Elbow
What the hell is
poke to
bronze?
elbow poke to Atlas. You're gonna teach me what all this shit means one day.
Yep. I hope you're ready to learn about, engineering theory.
Hope you're ready to learn about quantum mechanics.
They're
Are you
like,
ready to learn about our solar system?
There's the Earth. Yeah.
But while all of this is sort of happening, over here, the keeper's just kind of like watching this. He's like, oh dear lord. Anyways, they face towards
I
Ingot.
forgot he was here.
Yeah, he's been kind of looking over at the chaos. The keepers try not to like interrupt anything that like too much. They kind of just slink off in the shadows, but they'll look over towards Ingot and just say, well, Ingot, have you gained any memory of how you say arms of the sort, so arms of the soulbound or anything like that? And I don't mean physical, like, when he kind of waves his arms. I don't mean those type. I mean like weaponry.
Me made sword.
Close, but not really. Alright, let me explain a couple of things. So, as I mentioned before, I can't really sell you these things, but I can tell you what they are, and maybe you can make them. But you need to know exactly what you're making if you want to even pursue this sort of thing, right? And if you want to end up selling them yourself or whatever, that's up to you. But these arms, though they lack a name or such, as it changes from more and more every cycle or so, but these are weapons of the previous soulbound's pass. I've been able to delve in with a bit of information thanks to Keeper Raya, and these were weapons of the sorts only possibly made by, well, master blacksmiths. Apparently there are other master blacksmiths amongst this current soulbound, or at least have the potential to become one, but you'll have to figure that out, whoever that is, later. The point is, master blacksmiths, some were soulbound, some were not, but they were capable of forging the grandest weapons that was exclusive to said soul. Oh god, that's gonna explain it to Ingot. Do you know, like, a hexblade packed weapon warlock? Do you know what that means?
Me know what a warlock is, and me know what a blade is.
Do you know what a hexblade is?
Is it a blade with 6 sides?
No, but
The fact that Ingot knows that hex means 6 is incredibly impressive.
I know.
Yeah. Oh man.
Legendary brain power functioning right there.
They kind of
All
like
2 of his neurons just connected. That lightning's doing something.
they're gonna like process or try to understand, like, okay, they're gonna try to hype themselves up. All right, Hexblade, imagine this, just once you are bound to said weapon, you cannot remove it. It is yours and only yours. Does that make sense?
Me like weapon.
Good enough. He's gonna give you the thumbs up and keep on going. So, these sort of things, these devices, they weren't necessarily god weapons, but more of relics, if you will. Relics that, if the soulbound technically ascended to godhood, then they'd be treated as a god weapon or something similar, right? Not every weapon had to be divine, however. Infernal weapons for archdevils, like the Sword of Zariel, were more than possible. Just as an example. So, the bit of information that I can bestow upon you for now, and this is all I can before I have to explain it a little bit next time before I'm cut off, but here. In order to create such a thing, it would need to be done by the likes of a master blacksmith, a person capable of getting use out of soul coins, so that being either a devil, an angel, or a soulbound, you see. Whatever you need to do, you need to at least gather an aspect of the wielder, the individual who you seek to make a weapon for, something that is meaningful to them. As in, like, meaningful to the point where they would die for this item or this thing about their person. Something very, very personal. Does that make sense?
Me think me get it.
Perfect. Depending on the user, you might need a bit of hell flame lava, or angelic tears, or holy water from Valhalla, or even Elysium, or whatever, but these are important sort of things. Now, here, do you have a soul coin that I could just see for a moment?
I'm just gonna assuming it has at least one of the party's soul coins.
Yeah, you kind of just all have them in general, just spread out amongst yourselves.
I think it's just gonna pull out a handful of soul coins.
Perfect. So, 1, 2, okay, perfect. You're going to need 55 of these. Yes.
What?
Yes, you're going to need 55 if you want to make, a weapon for the soulbound of the sorts. That would be a master tier weapon or device of some sorts.
To cut to the chase, what exactly would this weapon be doing?
Well, this sort of thing, I can't really give too many answers as that is the Keeper's sort of rule, but he points up towards the sky, specifically towards the eclipse in the sky, and he just sort of gives a sort of cutting neck motion, and then points again towards the eclipse.
Now, is this the first time that we've had the eclipse in the sky as
Yes.
the descent?
Yes.
Seeing that, is this the same eclipse? When Navro and his died in his city, he looked up and saw a void eclipse. Is it the same one?
Seems pretty similar. Seems very, very similar.
He looks to the keeper and... We'll get those coins for you. Don't you worry.
And as that sort of happens, he'll look over and just say, I can give you a bit of more information from now, but my time, I must go. So, 55 soul coins, probably a gallon of hellfire lava, and you're going to need a device that can actually carry hellfire lava, or a gallon of either angel tears or a gallon of holy water from Valhalla or Elysium, right? However you sort of do it, I'm sure the Soulbound will figure it out. But, I'll give you more information when I can.
I had to go for a second. So that's 55 soul coins, hellfire lava. Is that it, or
Hellfire lava, or a gallon of angel tears, or a gallon of holy water from Valhalla or Elysium.
angel tears, water from Valhalla?
Mm-hmm. And he basically, the other thing he said is, if you were to get either of those three items, you're going to need a device that can actually carry them. A simple bucket of like, this isn't Minecraft where you can just get a random iron bucket and be like, we got it! That's not how that works.
Don't worry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ingrid's stomach can clearly hold a bucket of lava.
But, yeah. So,
Okay.
as they sort of say this, you'll see as they clutch the legs to their chest. Ow! Okay, I get the idea. I get the picture. They kind of look out towards the sky. Farewell, Descent. I wish you the best on your travels.
As he goes to leave, Ingrid was going to ask,
Oh,
can
go
we
ahead.
buy big from you?
Buy what again?
Big?
They're gonna just they're gonna just pat your head, kind of, or put a hand on your shoulder or whatever. I don't even know if they can put a hand on your shoulder, so they kind of have to, like, head pat you. No. But, in time, you will see that you will grow as tall as you could ever imagine. And that is very soon, my friend. Very, very soon. And now they are gone. With that, as the keeper begins to dissipate and flee, well, not flee, but with that, what would you all like to say and or do?
We need one of those weapons then. We need it.
That would be helpful, yep.
There's something I'd like to do, but I would want, like, everyone else to, like, take care of their stuff so I don't, like, take time.
That's it. Start around the clock. Rokaz, you got anything that you were specifically trying to do, or nah, you're good?
To do? No.
Or to ask, or anything like that.
Yeah, Rokaz is, after it seems that the dilly-dallying has subsided, it's time for more dilly-dallying. Might I suggest whatever we're gonna do here, we do somewhat quickly? I know, Navro, you don't think time is fucky-wucky, but I sure do. Time here likes to repeat itself, and I prefer not to be buried.
What buried?
It seems this place, this location at anyway, has a habit of dropping rocks on people. Usually when the sky shatters.
Like meteors or what?
No, like, and then he'll just, like, kind of gesture to the entire place we're on. Like this.
holds
There-
his shield up.
There is inside. You remember we were inside, just kind of scoping the place out? Me and Alex over there.
Yes.
Well,
Love it.
there is there's a dead giant in there, currently buried under probably about 300 tons of rock.
Keep in mind, the giant's only petrified, not necessarily.
Oh yeah, he's petrified, but he's also underneath a lot of the rock.
Yeah.
And while I was also in there, I had a brief, what's the right word for it? Vision, regain memory. I'm not entirely sure, I'm gonna be honest with you. But it showed me sometime in the past, there were people here. And the sky shattered. A lot of dirt fell. And that was about the end of the, that was about the end of the vision.
Excuse me
You're
for 1
excused.
second. I'm going to walk up, and you don't have to change the map. We know what it looks like.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go straight inside, close the book, put my coal away, and walk straight inside to where the giant is.
Mhm.
And approaching it, I stand at the entrance, and from the entrance, I assume I can see the face, the crack from which its face is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast. Do I have it? Yes, I do. I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
Thoughts. Let me think for a second.
He wasn't expecting that.
Jesus.
Okay, I know what it would probably say. Detect thoughts. Here's what you would probably sort of think or hear. Join, 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 join. No, please join us. No, 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 please. Over and over and over again in a cacophony of voices repeating itself.
Is this the same petrification when Rokaz was petrified in the desert? When he was entombed in stone? Is this the same looking thing?
Rokaz, are you talking about like earlier? Like the other
Earlier
session?
when yeah.
No. So he was just like any of the other soulbound. They're encased with like this astral crystals and stuff like that. This individual is straight up like rock and stone.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to telepathically speak to it, and I'm going to say, who is this? Aside from the rest of you, who is this giant?
5, 5, 5, 5, 5. It just keeps repeating over and over.
I'm going to approach a bit more closely, and I do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I go back out for a second. I go into like kind of the main entrance room, and kind of shouting out to the teammates. I'm about to do something very stupid. If something happens, I'll be fine. And turns around and is going to put one of his hands on one of the fingers. And I'm going to use a black mark, like I had siphoned before, and see if anything happens.
When he says I'm gonna do something stupid, can I do a little thing?
Sure.
Real quick?
What you got, Fabio?
Fabio's gonna saunter over and say, "Yes, Queen, you got it," and cast guidance.
Easy enough. Boop. You have glitter and more as you are guided by Ambrosi, All right, so trying to, and you you sort of, you gotta come back.
Yeah, a little poof of glitter up your nose, but
Oh God.
So,
As you begin to kind of do this, try to siphon it. Not much of a reaction, to be honest. You hold your hand, the mark over towards the stone, and it doesn't seem to necessarily react. It seems as if the petrification itself is in the way of the process, or this process beginning to, unfold. Is there anything else you try to sort of do?
I'm just looking at what I have. I still have the pearl. I'm going to, we have time, and I can do this while other people are doing their own thing. As a ritual, I'm going to cast Identify, and I'm going to use it on the petrified giant. So if I touch a creature throughout the casting, I can learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, while you are in the middle of doing that, Navarro, we return back over to the side and we look over towards Alexandria. What are you doing as the rest of the party is still kind of waiting for Navarro to return?
Good question. Oh yeah, you never did tell me what was on those pillars.
Ah, gotcha. Are you trying to go read them over right now?
Or did you? I don't remember you doing
no.
it.
There was writing on it, but you never actually we didn't never get a chance to read it out.
Yeah, okay. I'll read it.
Okay. As you would read over to that, let me pull it up. You'd see as this is clearly a myth, a story, a tale of an individual. Hold on one second. I'm checking. There we go. You would notice as... Thank you. You would notice as this is a mythos or a myth of the likes of a god, specifically Erebos, the god of death. As there is multiple sort of words, you're able to sort of string them along together to form a cohesive story. Would you like to read what it says, or read exactly what it says, or save it for later, or call anybody else here? Oh no, Barbot's dying.
I mean, I'd like to read what it says, I guess.
All right.
Everyone's kind of preoccupied with Navarro.
Alrighty, hold on one second. Let me fix Bardbot because he is dying in the club. Shut up, Bardbot. Get it together. No.
yeah, Fabio would probably be kind of peeking inside, looking at what Navarro's up to, not saying anything.
Still dying. Alright, here. We got, back up. Alright, Barbot, you're fucking up. You're fucking up. Alright. Alright,
Barbot, no way.
yeah.
Yar hard.
Alright, hey. And now, hey, get ready. This bot is going to be loud as fuck if you haven't adjusted the volume. So, adjust the volume now. I just thought about it. I'll give you 10 more seconds. Alright, cool.
We need our eardrums blasted out. Let's go.
Alright, cool. Just, and bam. Alright. And that should be good. Cool. Alright. Sorry about that, Alex. Here's what you get. You hear, this, or the mythos of a tale between Erebos and Heliod. Heliod's followers maintain that their god gave rise to Erebos, the god of death, by casting a shadow in the sun's first light. Followers of Erebos say that the tale is self-refuting. Before there ever was a sun, the entire world stood in shadow, and the shadow was Erebos, elder to Heliod. Only with the first dawning was Erebos' form diminished enough that Heliod, the god of the sun, could overpower him, and the god of the dead has never forgiven his upstart brother. The faithful of both Erebos and Heliod viciously argue the details of their gods' origins, some risking their lives in battle over which of their gods came into being first. Kind of like a scenario between the chicken and the egg. Which came first? Shadow or sun? Light or darkness? That is what this tale specifically mentions to you as you're able to read and piece things together. Just a random little nugget of lore. That's it.
Okay, I'm only doing this because I have a connection to both Heliod and the gods in general, but impulsively, based on the connection between two other characters I have, you're gonna hear her go, "What a shit god." Wait, what? Why did I say that?
See, as it kind of, you feel weird, as you feel as if, or you hear a sort of almost, not plucking sound, but a strumming sound, Alex. Kind of rings and echoes amongst your head for a moment. But then it returns back to normal as you almost impulsively or instinctively say that for whatever reason. Very weird, very strange.
The only reason I did that is because I have Soren Sunbasher, who vehemently hates the sun god, and Myra, who just hates everyone in general.
And the funny thing is, it's all in lore and it all makes sense because I have lore for it.
Oh, that's strange. Is anyone, everyone's just looking over at Navro at this point?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll probably just sit down on this pillar and just start strumming a tune, waiting.
Easy enough. As you're kind of doing that, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just basically going over to you. But as Alex, you're getting ready to sort of strum a tune and more, you cast the likes of Identify Navro, but before we get to you, Ingot, is there anything that you are doing at this moment in time?
Just a second as my brain catches up. Alright. I'm going to eat the charged mana crystal, because surely something filled with magic has got to be good for my new magical core.
You got it.
How many mana crystals do we have left?
I can check. Let me see. You guys don't really use mana
like,
crystals that much, but I will make sure.
Just have one or two for like when we get to other people, so it's not like, oh, we had a ton.
You have 6 out of 40.
This is the one specifically that Fabio gave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also
So
have
that
one
wasn't
I looted
counted.
from the place, so don't worry, Navro.
Yeah. A question, Ingot, are you eating it right here, or are you moving anywhere?
No, I'm just gonna sit where I am and just munch on it as I've been. Because I assume I went back to making the plate as well, because that's what I was doing last time. So I'd be eating the plate and then not eating plate, sorry, making the plate, and I thought, may as well munch on the mana crystal, because surely that's gonna help charge my core.
Of course. Oh boy. That said, here's what I need from you. Rokaz, Fabio, you'd kind of see this happening. Same thing with you, Alex. You guys sitting where you are, or are you moving anywhere?
Fabio has not seen a wild magic explosion yet. I don't think so.
Well, there's a first for everyone.
So he'd just look approvingly at Ingot as chomps on his snack. Nothing more normal than that.
You might wanna. I'm like going like far away. You might wanna. No, we're not doing this again.
Gotta move you. You just sort of see his Rokaz begin to start backing up.
Seeing if Rokaz afraid, Alex is gonna hide under this pillar, like on the other side.
You got it.
Can I get behind the statue over there to my right?
Yeah, easy enough. Gotta just move on over. Alright. Fabio, you see as a bit of your companions are just kind of scattering about. Atlas looks over. Oh shit! He's just gonna start scampering over here, climb up to like behind the tree.
Holding the shield over his head. Well, if everybody else is backing up, I guess. Gonna start backing away slowly, but he's like really unsure why everybody's freaking out.
I'm only freaking out because he's freaking out. I trust him more than I trust whatever's going on over there.
That's a good enough answer for me in my when it comes to life. I don't fucking know. All right, here's what we need. Ingot, roll a D100 for me.
Excellent. $73.
73. Unlucky. All right. 1, 2. All right, Ingot, you're 1. Alex, you're 2. Wait, hold on. Let me see it first off. Measuring
You
tools.
want the measure stick, don't you?
Why does that?
It's the ruler-looking one.
So you click
Yeah.
measure stick, then on the right side.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Oh wait, okay. It just looks. different.
Yeah,
you
so
wanna-
No,
yeah, go click
the-
measure.
no, it's not. It's not working. I think I know
No,
why.
you
it's
want to
not.
click the head.
No,
wanna
no,
click the
I know,
person.
guys, I know. It's more so it's a module in Foundry that was bugging. That's why it's not working. I've done it before, so that's fine. I can just do this instead. All right. Oh, hey, I guess that works now. Cool. All right, 60. Yep, you guys are all in the radius. Okay, cool. That's gonna be hilarious. All right,
Does it help
Ingot.
that I'm behind cover?
No, Ingot, you are 1. Alex, you are 2. Fabio, you are 3, and then Atlas is 4. Oh wait, and then Rokaz, we're gonna have you be at 5. I'm gonna roll a d5. 1d5.
Here, roll a d5.
All right, that is. Oh boy, Fabio. Alrighty, this is.
He's holding
got-
his shield on top of his head.
Should have ducked and covered.
Oh man. Alright, so chomp, you eat the legs of the magic crystal, and you immediately see as an explosion of sparkles, an explosion of glitter begins to strike out and begins to soar. And it strikes out over towards you, Fabio. And it feels great. Feels good. It feels okay. Feels aight. Kind of bad. Kind of terrible. Kind of horrible. Oh, fuck. Ow. Fabio, you feel just almost sick to your core for a second. You feel as if everything around you is kind of almost woozy, altering and swaying and shifting for a moment. You look around and you kind of stumble for a bit. And you are roughed up, my friend. How long does this last? Oh, I'm gonna do a nice one. So I want to. Ugh. For the next the next 3 minutes, you are poisoned horrendously, and you feel, it doesn't necessarily mean you will, but you feel as if you're going to hurl. It is awful, terrible, not a good time. Not a good time.
I like. Navril's just like, you know, casting his Indomitor, da, 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 and then just hears like, boo! And alright. I'm finishing this up. Okay, I'll finish this up in a minute.
Does the fact I was trying to get any of the magic into the core do anything?
Not really, no. But you did
Just
learn that
means
magic doesn't really necessarily jump towards the device inside of you, the Sphere of Seasons. It's not like attracting or looking for magic. Like that type of magic.
Did we ever end up using the fireball bead, or does someone still have that?
You gave it to me and we used it during the Oni fight.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we used it or not.
Hmm.
That being said, Fabio, how you feeling right now? Wait, what does this kind of look like?
Oh dear. Excuse me? I don't feel my...
Well, you're not dead. That's a good sign.
Oh no, he's just like constantly like dry heaving.
Yep, it's not.
Oh.
Yeah, it's rough, buddy. And it's for like 3 minutes straight. It's awful. It's
not pleasant.
and it's like the bits of glitter. They were gracious for 1 second, but it's like for only just a couple of seconds, it's like that is the worst thing you want to see right now. It's just you need a moment to breathe and take it in and just calm down, but it's just not letting you. That said, Rokaz and Alexandra, as you kind of see Fabio kind of to an extent freaking out. What are any of you doing? Any four of you?
He's gonna like be on the statue and like just holding himself like I'll be fine.
You certainly don't look fine.
Just a moment. This feels
Good
like
invested in
some
a
bad
cybernetic
mushrooms.
liver.
Do we have like more of those crystals?
Oh god.
Yeah, you do. You have 6 more.
Would the party be okay with me like eating another one?
No.
As a player, abso-fucking-lutely.
As a player, they have like a ton of different uses, and they're really delicate. So like maybe one more, but then like yeah, just because like they're kind of important stuff for like later.
Because I do mean just one more. What's the vote looking like?
I'm fine with like one more, sure.
That's fine.
I got my personal one, so I'm good.
It is true that they can be useful, but the chaos is hilarious.
Okay, I think it's a consensus of one more.
Whoa.
If Fabio sees you going for another one, like as you're throwing it in your mouth.
This time Inga's gonna change it up. Inga's gonna smash it right into the core.
Oh god.
As it begins to happen, roll a d100. Go ahead, Rokaz.
I just imagine Rokaz like, alright, here, let's see if I can. Oh god!
She kind of look over, and then it just smashes it into the core. Oh god, what is it?
88.
88. Okay, this is great. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do this. 1.
Make it
Excellent.
funny.
Certainly they won't do it.
All right. So Ingot, I have. Well, here's what happens. You look over and you smash the crystal into yourself, right? And you begin to look around. Wait. Yes! Big! You look over and you begin to feel as if you're getting bigger and bigger. You rise higher and higher. And then you realize, wait, you kind of kick your feet. Oh, wait. You look down. I'm not getting bigger. I'm getting higher and higher and higher, and almost like a balloon, Ingot begins to slowly start floating up. 15, then 20, then 30, then 60 feet up into the sky as there is a flying mushroom about all of you, just kind of looking around. You have the fly spell casted on you for how long? 10 minutes, and you... Oh boy. As you're just looking around, you can see the eclipse and more, and all of the, or a little bit around the immediate area of the Forbidden Expanse.
Okay, so quick question about fall damage. Will I literally instantly die if I fall from high enough, or would I just go down?
Considering you have 84 hit points, you probably won't die, but you will take damage.
Excellent. Ingot's gonna look for sky shinies, because that is the only logical thing to do. So Ingot's gonna just zoom as high as he can, looking for sky shinies. Because surely there's shinies in the sky.
Make a perception check.
Flies towards the star.
Perception is there. 22.
22. You look around, not much in your immediate area. I mean, you see the stars, you see a couple of sort of floating islands as well, just scattered about in the general area. But sky shinies? Not really. You would notice, and I mean very, very, very far out, some sort of force or some sort of twinkling sort of twilight beginning to sort of emerge and get closer and closer towards you. But that's about it. It's very, very far away. It'd take you probably like an hour or so, at least, of just this simple flight to get there.
Can I reach any of these sky islands?
Nah, they're like all the sort of things around you are kind of like their travel's worth away. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's gonna keep going higher because if he can't see some now, he might see some later.
But there would be one thing. You would see like the general stars they're on the ground as well. But the stars are kind of clinging over towards you and then sort of attaching themselves before dissipating. So besides that, those would be the only really real sky shinies for the most part.
Well, for as long as this lasts, Ingot's going to just go up. Because surely there's more sky shinies the higher he goes.
Alright, so as Ingot begins to continue going higher and higher, are you guys saying you're doing anything?
Yeah, Alexandria is using I think it's a 3rd level spell slot here. To cast, Sending to Navro, and in 25 words or less, you're gonna say, hey, your mushroom just flew off.
He'll come down. Eventually.
Oh man.
Now, is he like directly over us or like off on the distance?
I would imagine like directly over.
Okay. Fabio is still too sick to actually do anything about it, but he would make sure not to be directly under Ingot because it's not going to be a good time to be under Ingot whenever this stops.
Well, in the meanwhile, last sort of chance, Rokaz, are you doing anything? Before we head over back to Navro.
Guys, do you think he'd pop if I shoot him? I'm just curious.
Oh, I've heard he is very, very full and dense on the inside. I checked not too long ago. I don't think he'd. But if he would, that could be an interesting psychedelic experience.
I don't know what that word means.
So like, is he just gonna like fly off like a balloon, or is he coming down?
See, that's why part of me wants to try to shoot him just to see if he'd pop. Another part of me just wants to see how long this is gonna go for.
Just in case, I'm gonna start preparing something. You'll see as he begins to start crafting a little bit of a makeshift device for a bit, and Al's gonna be doing that sort of whole thing. But in the meanwhile, while all of this is sort of happening, inside the cave, return towards Navro. Now, Navro, you've been identifying exactly the magics that are affecting this creature. You would find that the spell that is affecting this individual is the likes of, well, an advanced version of kind of flesh to stone, or higher petrification magic. The individual that would probably be the one who casted this would be more of a divine-esque sort of nature. But make an Arcana check for me. You do so with advantage because the Identify spell.
Oh. Alright, so that is a 17 and a 23.
23. You would know that this specific divine magic, this is due to the likes of the corruption. You've been able to identify this type of magic or feel it for a long time, so you're able to distinguish whether it's, a god or that sort of thing, right? It does beg the question, but regardless, this is what it is. Other spells that are affecting it, not really much of anything besides... This is more of kind of a form of affliction that is affecting them, right? Not... It's more of I wouldn't say like specifically the goddess Farika's doing or anything like that, but more so whenever somebody gets afflicted with anything, Farika has some sort of, not doing, but overlooks it in some way, shape, or form, right?
Like her fingerprints are like here.
Yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, if you deal with sun magic, technically Heliod has something to do with it in a way, right? Besides
His
that,
logo is like somewhere there.
yeah. Besides that, this is something that could be dispelled if you had dispel magic. I don't think you have it, but definitely something to note for later.
It was one of the things I was going to choose, but I don't have it.
Go ahead, Kat.
I have.
Oh.
However,
would Navarro know? Navarro would know what kind of spells a cleric can cast, right? I think he knows anything. He knows basically like stuff about clerics. What
probably
spells
not
they can
dispel
cast.
magic. Probably not dispel. You know the classics like revivification, heal wounds, or all that stuff, inflict wounds, blah 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 blah. Probably not dispel magic. That's just kind of like a pretty broad sort of thing.
Okay. Still on this giant, I still have detect thoughts because both things that I did, the telepathy and the identify, are not concentration, so they weren't breaking that.
One thing though, I do need you to make. So you have the Arcana. You know what you can do, but make a Wisdom check for me, please. This is more important.
13.
13. Okay. You know you can do it. You have the potential to do it, but you start thinking, should you do it? That is another thing. You look over and you realize, okay, this is a giant. They've been petrified. But I talked to them and they, started saying 5, corruption, join us, blah, 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 right? If I was to, somehow unpetrify them and all that sort of stuff, they would probably be a corruption giant or something of the sorts, or something very, very similar. Whether that's a great idea, probably not, but it is one.
I'm not thinking of, like, unpetrifying him. He's of no use to us. What is important, though, is if he knows anything at all. Possibly, because I still have Detect Thoughts active, I want to probe, and in and amongst the ocean of voices that we've come to be very accustomed to, I want to try and probe the voice of the giant, because as a hive mind, and as he is joined with them, he's got to be there somewhere.
Oof. Okay. Let's work with this. How would you try to go about that? What would you try to do to try to probe and figure out and, like, listen to or find this giant's voice specifically out of the... And I'm telling you, it is hundreds of thousands of voices. How would you try to go about it?
Navarro knows a lot of languages, and most of them are, like, really weird esoteric ones. But he knows Common, he knows the languages of devils and demons, he knows the languages of alien creatures and dragons. He as well knows Elvish and, that's, I think, most of them. I know the exact sound of what people are saying when they're talking in their native language, which assumedly some of them would be, if you're kind of like doing a flyby of these thoughts. You'll hear their native language. Some people will be thinking in Elvish, some people will be thinking in Dwarvish, and Navarro would naturally recognize certain languages as, oh, that's obvious, that's Dwarvish. I don't speak Dwarvish, but like, you don't need to speak like Spanish to know what Spanish sounds like. So, specifically, I would want to try and parse through and hear the loudest giant voice. So, obviously there'd be many giants in this choir of screaming people, but most likely within this particular giant, the one that's talking the loudest, or the one that's talking clearest, because there's the closest connection to this spot, would most likely be this giant.
I see. Oh boy. Okay. And so you're trying to hear it out, and you're trying to use telepathy to be able to hear through him, or decipher him. Go ahead.
I'm using the probing from Detect Thoughts.
Okay. Okay. Oh boy.
So if I'm even able to find
boy.
the giant, he would be able to make a wisdom saving throw, or he could willingly fail it if he wanted to like talk to me.
All right. Last sort of thing before you go and hit this button. Navra, your character would be aware that dealing with a hive mind, trying to detect the thoughts of, like, even though you're trying to find like one specific person's, if this does go wrong, and it has a decent chance of going wrong, you could be just barraged with thousands, hundreds of thousands of voices, all trying to pull and vie at your very mind and pull at the seams of it, driving you to the brink of affliction. If you want to do that, by all means you can try. The check that you would need to make, would be I gotta make some saving throws, but this would also be just more of a, what do you call it? I'll chalk it up to an Arcana check as well for you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
just know the consequences if this fucks up.
This isn't highest saving throw. This is an affliction.
This would be the affliction table, if you know what I mean. The thing that
Any
Spike had
other
to
day?
deal with.
Any other day? Yes. We are meeting with secrets soon. I'm not doing this, but it's on the list.
It is on the list for in the future.
I know, no balls, no cowabunga, but we gotta make this right. And Navro's not gonna be a babbling moron while, this is happening. So, for the moment, he is going to take a reproach away and head back out to the rest of them. But a clear note that that's something that he, one, can do, and two, is an option to him. This particular giant. So,
go ahead. More so just kind of out of curiosity for my sake. How does the voice feel about this?
The voice doesn't really care about people. But whatever that giant saw must be really important. Giants do have good memory, and they are incredibly wise creatures. It's just information. And whatever Navro's drive is about destroying the corruption, Cobbs's is way worse. And with that, Navro's going to head out, a bit regretful, but head out into the ruins entrance. And where's Ingot?
Up there.
Do you think it's just kind of floating by?
Get ready to fly. Get ready to fly. I'm gonna pick up just go around and get like a small handful of pebbles and presto, make it glow. Ingot, there's no shinies in the sky.
I'd like to know, Ingot will be using everything in his power to A, move as quickly up as he can, and B, are there any sky plants?
There are no sky plants, but there is something that you get and learn out of this chaos. You said that you go as high as possible, correct?
Yeah. I don't know how flight works, but if dashing makes me go faster, or action surge, anything, Ingot wants to zoom. I'd use everything in my power. I don't actually know how flying works in this game.
You basically go 60 feet per turn. If you're dashing, that's going to be 120 feet. So zooming up. First things first. Oh, go ahead.
Sure. I was going to say, can you action surge to dash again?
Yeah, you can.
I'd do that. Just everything possible. Ingot's looking for sky shinies, sky plants, sky crabs. He's looking for it.
First things first, Constitution saving throw. As you begin to try to, or start breathing for a bit, and it's a little bit harder to do so as the air is thinner and thinner for a moment in time.
That said con check. I don't actually know how to do it. Besides, is that the same as saving throw?
On D&D Beyond, you just go up to the Constitution thing.
Oh,
on
yeah.
your, top left, on that.
Yeah.
And then just hover over the number and then just click it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it says con check. I
Are you
rolled
looking for a saving
10.
throw? Or?
It just said con check. It did not
That's fine.
say.
You can just roll a
if you're looking for the
d20 and
saving-
then just add 7, so that's no big deal.
Okay. Well, I did the con check and it was terrible. So we can go with that, or I can do the d20 plus 7.
What do we say? Yeah, we said we have to go with the I'm pretty sure I always forget that. I'm pretty sure we have to go with it and then we just add the modifier to it. So what was the number?
It was a 6.
6 total?
It was 6 plus 4.
Okay, so 10, so plus 3, 13. Not terrible, but you're struggling a little bit. Ingot, you do take half damage. You take a total of... Alright, let's see, yeah, it's only this much. Alright, you only take 2 points of force damage as you're struggling to breathe a little bit, losing more and more air. You look around, and as you do, you see all the floating islands about, and you look and notice as they begin to explode with this sort of purple electricity and more. And eventually, after a bit of time, they begin to reform anew. Looking about, make another perception check for me.
Perception. Let's go. It's 15.
15. You begin to see as you're looking over towards the world tree, and though it's sort of shrouded in clouds and more and all that sort of stuff, you begin to really look at it for just a split second. You focus for only one little moment, longer than you should. And as you do, you notice as the clouds, for your vision specifically, they begin to part for a moment. Looking towards the tree, you see as, though it's very far, it's like ants even, just sort of flying about in the distance. Beasts, creatures, people? You're not entirely sure. You see as these little almost ant-sized individuals are flying about for a moment, and you look over before you see as one of the branches of the world tree, they begin to almost slowly crack, break, and with this gracious green, almost poisonous or acidic light or coloring, it consumes one of the entire branches before one of the branches begins to slowly fall and plummet further and further and further down to the ground. You notice as a couple of these sort of flying ant-sized creatures begin to sort of start flying backwards away from it. But a bit of electricity begins to surge, a bit of fire begins to surge. And one final perception check for me, Ingot.
Okay.
And it is, hold on, let me see.
A nat 20. It's 25.
Goddamn. Alright. Here's which one it is. One for this, 2 for this, 3 for this. Alright. Yeah.
Ingot's desire to find sky shinies is above all else. He's never had a chance to find sky shinies before.
Alright, it is that one. You would look over, yeah, I guess that actually fits anyways. You'd look over and you would see a sort of strange, almost bird-like creature flapping its wings. It's massive in size, but considering the distance, it is still relatively small. But it towers over, not necessarily the tree, but kind of through and around the branches. You see as this bird, it's a phoenix, but not a phoenix made out of flame, not even one out of metal like the storm bird. It's a phoenix made out of lightning, shining light for a second. It strikes, and the entirety of the surrounding sky begins to surge with electricity before begins to sort of dissipate and drop down. With your perception check, just looking over at it, almost being entranced by it, you hear a sort of scream and a screech before it begins to dissipate and it dies. You look over and as it begins to do so, You're growing smaller. Smaller. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Wind is rushing past you, and Ingot, you find yourself as you begin to just start plummeting from hundreds, if not thousands of feet from the sky. And as this happens, you all look over. Navro, Fabio, Rokaz, Alex. Looking up, you see as Ingot is just sort of almost skyrocketing, almost commenting down. Bits of sort of flame is building up amongst you as you're starting to reach almost terminal velocity at this point. Ingot, make another Constitution saving throw.
As this is happening, Ingot's gonna Ingot does know how to dive, and as you fall, you're meant to dive. Ingot's gonna put his fists out as he just rockets to the ground.
As it begins to happen, alright. Let's see
How
this.
far from the point of impact are we?
Oh, don't worry, we're about to get to that in a minute.
So
Yeah.
con check 17 plus 4, 21, and then you say it should be like plus 3.
Yeah, because you're safe.
So that'd be a 24.
Alright, here's what's gonna happen, buddy. You're going to take a total of half of this damage. Alright, 15 points of force damage. You feel almost bits of fire beginning to almost start building up amongst you. You look over and you see as the fire itself is not normal sort of naturalistic sort of fire. It seems to be this strange astral fire. Looking up towards the eclipse, it begins to almost wane and shift, changing for a second before you begin to catch a flame with the cosmic energy. As this happens, Ingot is about 360 feet up in the sky before eventually getting ready to reach impact down on the ground. That is when you guys can all see him.
Can I second wind while I'm falling?
Yeah, you can do that.
Sweet. How do I even use second wind in this?
It's fine. I got you. I can mark it down. Second wind. Where is it? Second wind.
So should I just roll a 1d8? I mean 1d10?
Nah, I got you. Don't worry about it. Alright.
Because it should be 1d10 and then it will give me some temp HP.
So you get 15. You lose 15. You gain 15 right back.
And then is that including the temp HP?
Oh, no, it is not. Also, why did it give you 15 HP instead of here? I got it. 2.
Yeah,
and how much temp HP do you start off with?
It says 1d6 plus con, so I'll just quickly roll a d6.
Yes, please.
It's a 3 plus con modifier, which I think is 4, so that should be 7 temp HP.
You got it. So you should still be at full health for now, and you got a little bit of temp HP left. We'll call it about 3 or so. So again, as you're kind of plummeting down, let's head over to the rest of the party. You see this happening up above. What are you guys kind of doing?
I look to each and every one of them. Do any one of you have Featherfall?
I have this, and he's gonna take out his flower real quick and blow a little prayer to Ambrosi and cast spiritual weapon in because I've said before that it has like the shape of a Mothra, so he's gonna send it forward and like try to catch or at least stop Ingot's fall a little bit. It can go 60 feet up. I don't know if it's gonna help anything, but that's what Fabio would do. And then move fuck out of the way.
He's gonna look around again. Does anyone here have levitate?
Atlas is going to look over as they're kind of just hammering her down with their wrenches and more. They kind of just raise up a bit of a device. Yeah, kinda. I hope this works.
When he gets into range, do it. If it doesn't work, I have something. I don't have a spell, DM, but I don't know if it really works this way. It kind of comes up to you. Navra has an ability called Momentary Stasis, wherein he can encase somebody in a field of magical energy that like stops them. They are incapacitated, and they have a speed of 0.
Huh.
Now, the thing is...
Does the moment... Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say... 1. His speed technically would be 0, but gravity isn't a case of movement. In this case, since it's a magical field of like time-stop Zoroardo energy, would it count?
I'm reading the flavor for it.
And I will be honest, I don't mind if you guys don't stop it. I'm fully happy for Ingot to meteor punch the ground. This would be mint.
Alright.
I will probably say yes and no. You'll stop him, but the gravity, the momentum will still continue afterwards. It's more so you're just stopping like everything around him in a space, and then whenever the ability finishes, boom, he's just gonna keep going with that same. Yeah.
Pressing pause and then.
Exactly.
Continue. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it'll give you a bit of time to sort of think, but that's about it.
Okay. Then Navarro's holding both hands up, staff in hand, and waiting in case, like the moment he comes into 60 feet, he's gonna do it.
You got it. All right. Rokaz or Alexandra, you got anything?
I ain't got shit. I'm just hiding from the shockwave.
Yep.
I can make his death spectacular with some pyrotechnics, but
I would offer to catch him, but I'm sure he'd actually kill me.
Remember the enlarged cow damage?
okay, I do have something. Maybe. I have Thunder Wave, which technically pushes a creature 10 feet away from me.
Nah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't work the way you're thinking.
Yeah,
it wouldn't work the way you're thinking.
Yeah, I don't think anything's stopping this.
Yeah. Sorry,
I
dude.
just imagine instead of being hitting the ground when you use Thunderwave, you just slam him into the wall at full force.
Blows up the dungeon.
Oh wait, shit. Okay, no, they do. I was gonna say. Okay, I thought you didn't actually have it. Never mind. Oh man.
Why would you fly right up?
Sky shinies. Like, what do you mean?
Oh man.
Rest in peace, it. Rest in pieces, sorry.
Yeah, this is gonna be something. Alright, here's what we got. So as this begins to happen, if no one else is doing anything, you have the the ability sort of waiting to sort of utilize at any moment in time. Ingot begins to plummet further and further down below. Oh good, someone trying to say something?
Because I can do this from 60 feet away, Ingot's going to hear through his through telepathy, "You're going to feel something affecting you. Just let it happen." Asking if he can.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that when he's within 60 feet?
Within 60 feet.
Oh no, yeah. If you were to say that, he would be as soon as you finish that sentence, he's slamming down to the ground. So you don't have to do that sort of thing.
Okay.
That being said, if you could maybe say like word it just like a little bit faster or whatever, or like something like, "Hey, don't resist" or whatever, then yeah, we can get away with that. But probably not even
as fast as he can.
Easy enough. But you ain't able to say a whole sentence or whatever is worth. But he begins to start striking over down to the ground. Alice will begin to try to throw a device underneath him and try to cast Levitate. As it begins to do so, you'll notice as almost a force wave begins to emerge right below Ingot. We'll see what happens. He's gonna make his sort of check. Spell book, Arcana. 24. It's not too terrible. You see as he begins to slowly fall down to the ground, as a bit of his momentum is stopped, but he is still going in. You notice as he's like getting ready to like slow down more and more and more, but he is still rapidly approaching the ground. Navarro, as he's about 60 feet in the area, what are you doing?
I am going to use momentary stasis, and with him telling him not to resist, will Ingot allow himself to fail the saving throw, or?
No, Ingot is having the time of his life. Ingot wants to hit the ground.
Alright, make a Constitution saving throw.
Well, we tried.
We did something.
He's a grown man. He can decide to not gonna say that on stream if he wants to.
Nat 20, so I think that's a 27 Constitution save. 27 in total.
That being said, 27 total. Alright, here's what's gonna happen. The momentary stasis, how long does it last, by the way?
until his the next action, but it doesn't mark. So.
All right. Oh god.
It's only for like 6 seconds. It's very short.
You guys look over, and you see as Ingot, they stop.
Well, no,
oh, good.
Like he succeeded his saving throw.
Oh, okay. So never mind. It doesn't even. Yeah. That being said, you see as you begin to unleash the likes of the Crow Energy magic, slamming the staff down, reality begins to crack and tear, but breaking before you, before Ingot just shatters directly on through.
Jesus.
You all see a sort of cloud of smoke from the pure shockwave. Navro, you're sort of tossed back a little bit. Same thing with Atlas. Not knocked prone or anything, but knocked back a decent bit. As you do. Alright, Ingot. The cloud of smoke billows up. Let's see what's still there. Alright, the maximum falling damage is this. And Atlas was able to help out a little bit, not by much. By how much? There we go. 24. Alright, Ingot, this is how much damage you take. You don't die. You take 50 points of bludgeoning damage. Alright, next.
-3.
-3, but here's the next thing. Constitution saving throw. Alright, time to roll on the injuries table. Alright.
23.
Alright, roll a d100. It's not too terrible, but it's pretty bad. Or
98.
98? Not bad. So, here's what's happened. You drop down onto the ground, and for what anybody, like any other normal person, you would feel a massive wave of pain and sort of stinging sensation begin to rock your entire body as you plummet down. For the sake of it, though you land, your leg, not necessarily, well, God, not necessarily broken, but a heavy sort of sprain, and it is almost impossible to walk on at this moment in time.
Because Ingot was meteor punching, would it be his arms instead? Because he was like fist out to hit the ground.
Yeah, it'd probably be that. That's the worst one, but you would sort of, your entire sort of hand is like completely just sort of like almost limp right now. You can't even necessarily feel it right now. Your knees, your legs are completely shocked. You can't actually move right at this second. As you do, there is a massive sort of crater in it, and you feel everything, well, anybody would feel anything just sort of terribly ripping them to shreds. Regardless with that, let's see exactly how long this will last for. Oh, hold on, no, it's D6. Of course. Alright, Ingot, here's the funny thing. Until you get this thing actually medically really like checked out and you rest for a decent amount of time, you basically will only have one hand. Meaning, you can't necessarily use your giant greatsword until you get this thing checked out at. You're gonna need to find like a smaller sword or craft something that you can kind of actually wield. But right now, your arms are fucked, your legs are fucked. You are in the process of, you cannot move right now, and until someone helps you out, or maybe even strings or carries you along, you are stuck like this.
How big of a crater did I make?
I wish I could draw it, but if I could. Oh, there we go. Alright, bam. About like this big.
Alex.
Can Ingot check if he's uncovered any shinies in this crater?
No.
Alex, seeing him injured, is going to pull out what looks like, and this is flavoring for their spell, what looks to be a gun of some sorts, and begins walking up to Ingot.
Oh god. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Fabio is
Hold
going
on. Let them do this thing. let
He's going
it
to
get him out of
point
the
it at the
the
back
system.
of his head and pull the trigger. And all you see is a small dart hit him
No.
as she casts Cure Wounds at 4th level.
As you begin to do so, Alexandria is the first person that you see as the smoke begins to clear. Alexandria, what do you say?
Yeah, this should help you. A little stim booster. And you just hear the fires.
He's just gonna wave.
That is 22 points that he gets back.
You got it. As this begins to happen, you feel a little bit better. Go ahead, Fabio. What were you trying to do?
Seeing this new person pulling a gun to my temple to Ambrosi, Fabio would start running and like literally tackle Alexandria. I'm guessing like the shot would go and then like Fabio would be like mid jump, like
Just
I would like to see if I could just stand there while they try tackling me.
both of you make athletics checks then.
all right. Let's see how. Oh boy, I got a -1 on that one.
23.
23.
How bad am I gonna roll?
The amount of nat 20s I rolled during that
Oh,
flight was incredible.
18, so that's a 17 for me.
17. What'd you get, Alex?
23.
23. You hit the likes of Alexandria. You try to tackle him to the ground, but they just... It's just like colliding into a wall. They do not move, but only a couple of inches.
You do hear metal clink when she hits. When he
Yeah.
hits.
So
Can I help you?
He'd look around between Ingot and Alexandria, and like Ingot looked perfectly fine. You shot him.
With a stim. Yeah.
For the record, that was a dart, not a stem. Stems grow on trees.
Okay, I pull out a real gun. No.
Fabio would just like kind of have like a short circuit, like, but it killed the, but it healed.
It's not.
Did it kill?
It's not the same type of gun you're probably used to. When we mercs run, we need to heal quick. Usually we fire it into our arms or anywhere we can to get that extra boost on the enemy.
So they can kill or heal. That's confusing.
Fabio,
Okay.
you know how enough medicine can kill a person?
Yes.
I assume there's medicine in that gun, and in ones like atlases or amethysts, it's something else. You've seen at least muskets, correct?
I don't know the terms for them, but they're usually in L shape with a hole at the end, and there's things that kill that come out of them.
That's all that you effectively need to know. Just that, whatever that is, a stimulation gun works.
Stim pack. She calls them
Looking
stim
at Ingot.
packs.
Very well.
Oh, go ahead, Never.
Looking at Ingot, what kind of condition is he in right now?
He cannot move. He can barely speak at that, but he cannot move in this position right now. Healing ain't gonna really do anything with that. That's gonna be time, my friend.
How much time looking at his wounds? Looking at, like, his... Because he doesn't have bones.
Roughly 5 days, or 5 sessions or so.
In using Alexandria's inspection, can she get a diagnostic using the
Oh, real quick, and that's assuming like you guys don't do anything about it.
that's
Yeah,
that's
Fabio. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh sorry. Do you want to go first?
Well, basically, as Alexandria is examining him, Fabio would also be examining him and like starting to sprinkle him with some pollen and trying to mend his wounds and like examine, because like he has a little bit of understanding of Ingot's anatomy since he performed surgery on him. So like he'd be trying to see like if there's things that are out of place, trying to like push them back into place and like try to help as much as he can, as well as casting a 4th level Cure Wounds.
You got it. Tell me how much the HP is, and then also roll a medicine check. You can do so with advantage if Alexandria is also helping. Actually, here we'll do this. Alex, you want to roll the medicine check, and Fabio, you want to roll the Cure Wounds?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Alex, you make it with advantage.
Okay. Just a quick note. I did want to flavor text this as using that like health monitor thing by plugging into Ingot and seeing what exactly is broken in him.
You try to like plug into Ingot, you try to figure out where to actually do it, but there's not really any like general jack that you're kind of used to.
Damn. Usually if we can just get a software diagnostic, usually someone has some chrome. Not well. Looks like I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way.
You
My
would see
Kyoshi
metal
optics aren't
pieces
working.
in Ingot, by the way. Like, not jacks, but there'd be like metal, like, somewhat in his flesh. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh fuck. My Kyoshi optics don't really work here. How do you advantage this? I guess you can't do that.
You just roll twice. It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Total 18 for me.
You get.
On D&D Beyond, if you right-click it, you can do it with advantage.
Oh, it is right-click now.
Been so long since I've used like
I got
D&D
a
Beyond to roll.
6.
Did you do it with
Six was my
advantage?
highest. Yeah.
Ugh. Looking
you're
over
telling
at
me.
them, it's more so. It's not necessarily that you can't do it. It's more of this is not necessarily the greatest place to kind of look over at Ingot. You're gonna need a longer amount of time to kind of look them over. You're not able to get like a general sort of thing to pick them up right now. Oh, he's gonna be
We're
here
gonna
for a
need
second.
a crane.
So, darling, I understand. You seem to be, I don't know, what's the word? Used to this kind of thing. You have medical training, perhaps?
I've had to do things. Some stuff I'm not proud of, some I am. But no, not necessarily with practitioned medical licenses. More or less
License.
combat surgery.
Oh, exactly. So you are trained.
If keeping them alive means yes, then sort of.
I will take that as a yes, then. Excellent.
Navra would approach Ingot and just like looking down, like gives a bit of a look over, and they're alive. Give a nod. For the story, you did not fly into the air and then plummet to the ground. You sustained these from our fight with the Dream Slayer. That's the story we'll use, so they think we're a bit more competent than this, right?
Whoa, what's a Dream Slayer?
An entity we fought a small while ago. Very foul. I think they'd understand.
What this thing would be, let's talk to Never. It'd be like me seeing Skyland explode. Big lightning bird. And the really big tree. It's breaking.
Oh,
The
Fuck,
world's
the tree is
is
breaking?
breaking.
Lots of ants break big tree.
Goddamn
Okay.
leafcutter ants.
How bad was it? Bad, or not so bad?
Big branch break from big tree.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how big?
How big
One.
was the branch relative to the tree?
1 to 5.
Fairly big. Fairly big.
well, if he's saying something's
Really
big.
Really big branch.
Probably around a 7 then. That's not good. I'm running out of time.
Look, one thing at a time. We have to organize for our meeting with the kindred spirits. We just settle with that now, and we handle that later. We have a lot to handle later, but we have one thing that is happening soon. Thank the Lord. We can do this.
We have 2 things that are happening soon.
Let's
First-
just... Go ahead.
First, let's meet up with them, as you're saying. She doesn't say the second thing.
And
You remember the whole thing with the gravity goddess.
right.
That comes like a week later. But
It's not a
probably
week
around
later.
same
It's like 2 weeks to a month.
No, she's thinking that she's gonna get them to help her out within a week, but probably not.
Let's just prepare for right now. This is what we have been marching through this entire time. And looking around, it's what Ingot and Navro have been marching for. Almost everybody else has come out later. But
Yeah.
that notwithstanding, we just need to clean up. Make sure we are prepared.
Yeah, how you gonna move him?
I don't know. Atlas, do you have anything that can help levitate him further?
I think levitate only works at things up to 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, he seems
Or
comfortable
400.
in his hole.
It's something.
Ingot, are you comfortable, darling?
Me like hole.
See?
You sure you
He's
looked him
perfectly
up all the
happy.
way? There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, I can try to lift him up even further here.
Well,
Ah,
he's
God.
happy in his hole.
Well, it's more for like later.
We're marching to their village if we can get them to let us in.
Uh,
We can't
uh,
thought
march
they were
with
coming to
broken
us.
legs.
yes, they said they were coming here.
They're coming to us. They will talk to us, and then they will bring us to their village. That's why we're not going there. We're being
Yeah.
vetted first.
That's just a formality. I've met them all before. They're all lovely people, and they.
What was that?
Hmm?
I don't know, something just popped up on my screen for a second. I looked away and I looked back and I saw something.
I think that was like another screen.
Ah, my bad.
But yeah, I've met them before. It's perfectly fine. They'll probably be able to help bringing him over. You're too stressed about this, darling. This is good news that we're meeting them. It's not a scary thing. It's not something that we have to kill or whatever.
You know
Just
them.
relax, darling.
You know them, but I don't know too much about them, and that's a problem. I know about the Voden Knights, and I know about Krause's group, but I don't know about them. And there's one thing I don't like, it's uncertainty.
Wait, who are the
So-
Voden Knights?
They're people in the Jaded Dragon Valley.
That
Do
meant
you know-
nothing to me, but thank you.
All right.
Nice folks, from what I could hotel as well, and they have a very nice tavern. Wonderful drinks. Excellent drinks.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, we do have something in common. Excellent.
Alcoholism. Perfect.
Think not of it as alcoholism, think about it as bonding over inebriation.
Exactly. Different pleasures of life. But darling, looking at Navro, do you trust me?
I hope I do. In your mind you hear, not at all, but you're nice.
Either way, I can assure you that they have absolutely no ill will towards us, except, of course, if we start attacking them. Which, that won't. So you don't have to worry.
I hope they have more sense than y'all do.
Yes, I would like if they had that, but we can't bank on it. You met them. Can you at least tell me a little bit about them?
Yes, of course, but what do you want to know? They're,
Names, at least. Who they are. What they look like.
they have a very nice settlement. We saw the interior of it. I believe it was their temple. Little drab for my taste, but still quite nice, and beautiful little homes as well, quite homey and comfortable. And then what can I tell you about them? There's
Please tell me they have air conditioning. I'm a polar bear in the desert.
air conditioning. Well, the air there smelled quite nice. That's a good condition for air to have.
They have an oasis. They have water for you to lay in for cooling. You shouldn't have to worry about that. But continue. I apologize.
Yes. Well, there's one that is quite wise and has knowledge of nature and of the stars, and some of them are quite spicy with knowledge of fire and the likes. And very martially minded, quite a good posture, that one. I quite appreciated that. And there's another that's quite a beauty. Stunning creature. Wow. Most luminous of skin, and am I forgetting anybody? One that had the smell of fish on him. Quite a sturdy figure. I didn't get to meet him that well. And, one of a very regal and high-minded cut, quite a strong heart, and, a little trigger-happy, but, quite wonderful figure.
Wait,
Retcon that is Cat that said trigger-happy. Fabio would never say
Damn it.
trigger-happy. I'm sorry.
Technically, crossbows do have triggers, so.
He would say, instead of saying that, someone with jumpy fingers, but nonetheless, quite a lovely person, and you get to meet them. And that's that.
Anyone with technology more advanced than him? Pointing towards the kobold.
No, heavens no. They have
Why?
much better taste.
What's that supposed to mean?
What's that supposed? Yeah, that's what that says.
Honestly, I don't even understand how you can even be close to that stuff. It's tasteful.
Do you realize I'm 40% metal at this point? Plastic and wiring.
But I certainly don't understand it, and it boggles my mind that someone could sustain
Here's the thing.
metal in them like that.
Here's the thing. Look. Not everybody can cast magic. Not everybody can be as smart as Navro or worship the divine and gain powers and favor and all that sort of stuff. But, I mean, anybody can put a rock together and try to make something out of it. Anybody can use technology. And this, though it is advanced, it can help, can hurt, it's useful. That's why I use it. And I can do it.
Oh, of course, it's a marvel, and if you need to get power, you can get power anywhere. It's just the metal itself. I don't understand how you can touch it. And
Kind of just touches it. He doesn't know what to say, he just touches it.
It tastes good.
Darling, I know you have very spicy taste, so for you, I do understand it, but...
Alice is gonna just, like, lizard brain, just gonna be like, here, just touch it. He's gonna hold out like a metal scrap.
He's gonna use, like, the tip of his pinky nail to... There, I touched it.
Okay, was that so bad? I mean, Rose, it's not gonna just melt you.
Yes, I feel... Yeah,
Actually,
Is this similar to the druidic hatred of non-living materials being used, or is this something different? Because
non-living.
this is a lot.
Oh dear lord, you guys would hate AI.
Hey, what now?
Artificial intelligence.
Wait, so like Navro, but not real?
Navro, but made out of metal and technology.
Wait, so someone put lightning in Navro and made him think?
Someone put lightning in a rock and made it think.
Oh my god.
Someone put lightning in me.
And then it decided to blow up half the world.
So just
So
a
now-
quick question. Quick question. So how long have you all been here? And he kind of motions to basically all of Voden.
As far as I'm aware, about 3 months.
About a year has passed, right, Sensei?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen, I think, about 5 shatters so far. Or 6 shatters so far.
What does our time in Voden matter? They're the
Well, it's more of, have you not seen anybody else from, like, Zenobia or anything like that? At all?
We were in the taiga. You didn't meet anyone for a long
Didn't meet
time.
anyone except the floating
Well,
head in the
no,
dark.
I knew they existed. I just didn't deal with them because they were pointless to deal with. Who fucking cares? Well, okay. Well, actually, no. Gotta be better.
Wait, what
Gotta
are
be
you
better.
talking about?
Gotta be better.
Well, we met.
It's more
One.
so they just. I didn't have a reason to go talk to them.
Talk to who?
The people in the tiger. I mean, there's the
Who's in the taiga? I didn't see anyone.
people.
I traveled flying, mind you. I didn't see shit.
Oh, well, all the people
okay.
that we met were on the ground. That's probably why.
You would think I would see something on the ground while flying above them, but no, there wasn't a single movement. Hell, I barely saw an animal.
It's more so I'm just surprised that. I mean. It's more so I'm just surprised that in the year you haven't necessarily seen anybody like that. Or I guess really much of anybody. I mean, I chose this way, but I assume that you all didn't?
Wait, chose what way?
The mountain
To
itself.
stay by myself.
The mountain itself has no one around it. No towns, no cities, no people.
I know
We were-
that.
We were one mountain over, and we were spending time in an arena of divinity. Do you know of the arena of the gods?
Nah, I don't.
I don't either.
We met a humorous individual, a bit ahead of himself.
I know who you're talking about already.
You know Mimir?
Yeah, I told you that the last time.
Sorry,
Yeah,
you're right.
he did, yeah.
Yeah, then forget that.
Are you sure you're
okay.
not getting Alzheimer's, old man?
So after that, we were at the summit of the mountain. Or, well, some distance from it, but I wasn't there for that. We haven't ran into anyone at all.
Huh.
Aside from Drakal, and that's about it.
Huh.
What the fuck is Drakal?
Interesting. Granted, sure, I was on the mountain like a majority of the time, but like I traveled between the valley, the expanse, like here, and then the taiga, every now and again. But I can't necessarily say the same for the expanse. I didn't really travel there. Same thing with the valley, but with the taiga, I mean, yeah, there was just a bunch of random sort of places. I assumed there was people there. I mean, I don't fucking know. I didn't like walk up to the front door and start knocking, but I mean,
I
yeah.
have to ask this. Since
Remember
did I
with
see
the-
anyone?
The path that you took, I mean, you were only in the taiga for like a day or two. It didn't take you that long to get out of it.
Oh, where come what I said when I said 3 months? Then I've probably been here like a week or two.
Now, granted, you would have got like your mission and everything and all that stuff, but
Yeah, no, I know the
Yeah.
gods. I meant like, did I see any like actual signs of life, like buildings or anything?
yeah, you would have seen signs of life, but it would be mainly like deteriorated, destroyed ruins, all that stuff, right? But you didn't really check to see if there was like people. Just kind of assumed.
I'm a bad person.
There would have inevitably been some small amount of people, given that Ross had said before that she was a ranger of some kind, or at least took over some part of the taiga. People live there, yeah, sure, but what does it matter?
The buildings I've seen there are all dilapidated and ruined.
It's just because you guys keeps being confused or whatever about everything that one's saying. I was just perplexed for a moment. I'm sorry.
It's technology. Whatever my world had, none of that. And I haven't run into any of it in Bowden, so, well, aside from some machines, but news to me at least.
Wait, you found some machines? You know what machines are?
To some level, yes. Atlas had an incredible one. We have some slightly dilapidated, but still somewhat alive machine, Triceratops. It's parked a ways away. Now,
It's parked?
it's working with us, that and another actual Triceratops.
You
We've
have to
been-
show me this.
It's like
It's not.
it's kind of like an automaton. Yeah. Huh?
It's not quite.
Listen,
Rather than one of the messages that... Yeah?
Oop, no, if you were going to say something, go first.
Groz had said in one of her messages that they were created by Nazgul specialties. Now, we had already known this, but the insidious part is that these machines, which you might find in Voden well enough, wolves, Triceratops, different things, have the souls of other people stuck inside them, and
That's not unusual.
you know of souls then.
Well, we used to use, when AIs were first being made, they used to use neural scans of brains and tried to artificial mapping. You wouldn't understand. Anyway, they basically, at some interval, took a human brain out of the body and shoved it in a machine.
Oh dear.
Oh.
That was some early prototypes.
Wait. Say that one more time. One more time.
They took a brain and they put it in a machine.
You see as Atlas begins to start pulling out a couple of notes and starting to flip through a couple of pages. Wait. That sounds familiar. I remember
Probably.
seeing a couple of shits when I was remember when I told you, I kind of looks towards Navro and Rokaz, kind of Ingot. Remember when I told you I was trying to get into Nazgul Specialties, one of their sort of fortresses, but I couldn't because, not really Warforged?
The city, yes.
Yeah.
Warforged.
Robots, kind of automatons in a way.
Warforged in our world?
Yeah, they'd be known as androids though. Yeah, but you know that.
Androids.
Sure. Yeah. But the point is, I remember they mentioned some sort of things. It just that sounds familiar from what I remember seeing in that place.
Let's just say
Sort of
without
a
fingers.
collective consciousness or something. some sort of like, maybe not even a collective, but more so just a consciousness sort of place somewhere or something, whether it be into, they kind of start trying to jog the memory back, either into,
Wide mind AI?
No. It's not even necessarily like a person. It's like a thing. It's like an object.
Collective conscious. Oh, an object.
Yeah, like not like the Triceratops thingies, but like he just picks up a rock and then just points over, like a strange device like this. They'd be able to place like something into this.
Hold on. A collective consciousness and a hive mind. Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting?
They might have. It might seem that way, but it could be they're transmitting data over wireless transmission sources. They could probably share information with one another, but if they were cut off, they'd be a singular unit, just like you or I.
No.
Look, I didn't get that far. Our city ain't got that much shit.
Alexandria, you wouldn't happen to have anything that could read if something is technological, any kind of the energy that it emits.
I mean, if I had tools to repair some stuff, then maybe. I do know I can jack into technology that has the availability to be jacked into. If it's too old, I can't do nothing with it. But if it's got enough technological components and it's advanced enough, I might be able to read into its soul system, see what's going on, what errors it has, and so forth, so on. However, it's risky to myself, as this does connect to my nervous system.
It's not that, it's the Starry Ones. They must have could possibly have some type of connection to the specialties. And he's kneeling down to like Atlas's level while he's talking now. Say, Atlas, that this consciousness, this collective consciousness, is connected to the hive mind-like entities of the Starry Ones. Could there be some kind of connection? Could it be similar? Could it be a recreation?
It could be. See, the thing is, I mean, from what I know about the stars and all that stuff, that's more of magic. That's more of, that divine sort of stuff. But this is more of technology, so...
But could you take the two of them and make them one?
I mean...
That's what you do all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. I never really thought of it that way.
I don't know anything about what Nazgul Specialties is trying to do or how they do it, but this does not sound good. Again,
if I had something to look at, I'd be able to tell you exactly what they're doing. Or give you an idea, at least.
We could, but just... we need to stay on track. Just... let's try and dust up Ingot. Make sure everyone is prepared for meeting the kindred spirits. And prepare what we're going to do when we meet them. I think there's a bit more to meeting them than simply us being there. Besides, Fabio, you have the good first impression. We don't. And especially because they know what I've done. They will have to vet me as well.
What have you done?
Those Starry Ones I mentioned, the big C's you called it, they're capable of certain things and can take over oneself. They forced me to kill a compatriot of mine. Something took over and made me use my hands and my magic to end her life. Now, my companions around me know that I am innocent, but to the rest of the soul-bound, it's a bit more dubious. It's all they know of me. I'm the killer of Spike. And it's a hard mark to wash away. It never will. That's my first impression. So I need to make this right. I need to make sure they know I'm not a threat, and that the people around me aren't threats. Do you understand now, Fabio, why I'm a bit paranoid about this?
So, like, while the whole tech conversation was going on, he just, like, had glazed eyes, just not understanding anything. Like, it went totally over his head, but now he shakes himself and, well, that is a difficult first impression to work with, but they're reasonable people, and I'm sure if we bring them explanations of what happened, then they could probably be reasoned with. Probably.
I know that you have good faith in people, Fabio. That's a nice thing to have, but in a life or death scenario, people are not likely to just let you into their home. They're not going to be thinking positively of me. They're good people, but would they allow me? I wouldn't.
Well, I don't think we can find an answer until we actually ask them. And I like the word you use, faith in people. That's an interesting word to use. But nonetheless, as you say, we do have to prepare you for a better first impression. And I dare say, darling, the explosion and you rifling with that giant back there, you full of dirt. And would you like me to help you have a better image first impression?
He will like kind of take the ends of his poncho that he's wearing and just like flick it and casting prestidigitation, like in a sense clean the clothes that he has. Whatever else you could do, sure, we could start.
Yeah,
Yes, I see.
probably.
There's a few threads loose on your hat up there, and I think you could use a bit of mending on the side as well. I'm quite good with a needle and thread. I can help you with that. And he's gonna walk towards him, and here, let's sit to the side, and we can take care of that.
Thank
I'd also
you.
suggest a skincare routine.
Fuck you.
But I could also help with that if you'd like.
You would hear again the voice, or as you know him, Kabza. You would hear him say, "I'm glad to be getting some help with fashion from you. I plan to get a bit more, and maybe you can help me pick out the shade of red I'll be wearing."
I won't say anything to that, but walking to the side, and I there is like a little thing I want to do with that. So if like anybody else wants to do a thing before, go for it.
Ingot would ask for Navarro's help, but he can do it after that's done.
Alright. Anybody else then? All right, go for it.
So I'd imagine we'd go a little bit a ways from the group, and he'd start getting to work and casting mending and just like re-rolling the fabric to get the seam straight and nice, and just get to work on all that.
Navro's just sitting there. You know when you're at the hairdressers and they're just like, put your head down. Okay, put it back up. I'm just gonna, it's a bit like that with the whole body. It's like, oh, darling, let me just mend that a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit of that occasionally.
And as he's working, he's gonna start chatting, and clearly this place is quite different from the Feywild, and there's many things that I don't know, but there is one thing that I haven't really been able to understand too well. It's in Graz's last message, she mentioned that the end of the world was coming, and I mean, you've clearly always been the one with the most knowledge in this group, and so I want to have your take on this end of the world deal. And he's gonna keep working on him.
It's formerly called Ragnarok, an event when angels, demons, the ties between heaven and hell looser, and more divine power, infernal power, can affect Voden itself. It occurred when a companion of ours, a wizard named Pyre, did something. He gazed on something he shouldn't have. The red-cloaked men you've been working with, he looked at a former one that we've been meeting with, one in a plague doctor's outfit, and he was furious at him. He told him not to look, and it made him forget, at least I think. And I previously mentioned our companion, Mimir. He is the god of knowledge, and I blame myself for it. The whole time that he had been with us, if he gazed too long at something divine, or at that keeper, then we would know it would spell the end of the world. It would spell the beginning of Ragnarok. And he saw that keeper gaze, and I stood not 2 feet away, and I let him go. My one moment of inactivity, and this all happens. We have only a few months left before all of Voden is racked with divine and infernal creatures battling it out. And from what I understand, if one has a side on the divine or the infernal or the abyssal or what have you, you're taking part in that war. Am I getting that right, Sensei?
That one more time, you're a little bit low.
Sorry.
Last part.
If you have like a side on like being divine or being like infernal, like if you worship a devil or a demon or a god or whatever, then you'll probably have to fight. Because when we were talking about it before at the top of the mountain, one of the things that was talked about was like if Ragnarok occurs, then Spike would have to choose a side on that conflict because she has both. Yeah.
So it's more of, you'd probably be able to understand what they kind of mean by it. It's more of if Ragnarok goes the way it's always gone, then you'd have to choose a side between heaven or hell. Assuming that you guys just played it by the rules and exactly, as you do. The Soulbound, as you guys are aware, are actively trying to make sure that doesn't happen and you don't repeat the cycle. So you don't necessarily have to. unless you wanted to maybe play out that sort of thread and see where it goes. Does that make sense?
So
Go ahead.
you can choose to not take a side.
It's more of they're saying you have to choose a side or whatever, like the NPC saying that you have to choose a side or whatever, but you don't actually have to. Does that make sense?
You're either with us or you're against us, that kind of thing.
Literally that, yeah.
Okay.
It's no divine force like saying, no, do it now.
It's not like, the fact that, say Fabio plays a cleric, she has to fight, right? Okay. But
And like all through this, Fabio is gonna be just taking care of you and like working on on your outfit, but he's gonna keep you talking, and we can hand wave it because like Kat knows all the Ragnarok stuff, so like we don't have to go through everything. But basically just keeping you talking and asking you questions and really observing you, and you could see that like as he's asking questions, his eyes flash lavender a bunch of times, from lavender to blue. He's really interested in what you have to say, and
can I make an insight check on that on the eye flashes? I know I do it with disadvantage, but I just want to try if I can.
Go for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so that is a 18 and a 19, so an 18.
What would that get them?
Well, you're a smart dude. So you've been able to see that Fabio's eyes flash pretty often, depending what's happening around him. And you've noticed that when you'd probably be able to figure it out. The changes in his eyes are basically a mood ring that when he's feeling different emotions, it comes out in his eyes. I didn't mention it, but like when he was like all freaked out, all the tech and all that, it would have been flashing red. And right now he's very interested. It's flashing lavender. But as you're talking, and as he's making you focus on what you're saying, eventually you can tell me if I'm wrong, but like he'd get kind of like into it and not really pay attention to anything around him. And once Fabio feels that he's very focused on telling the Ragnarok story, Fabio would start to kind of play with his mark. But just as he's working on you, play with the mark and focus on the mark and try to activate it, because Sirius said that the purple marks are sight related, so he wants to look into Navro. Navro is distracted, to try to see what is behind Navro. Who else is in Navro?
As you begin to do so, you'd look over, and here's one thing. We'll get the, basics out of the way. You do
so his
see...
eyes would turn purple instead of lavender. Slight difference. But it doesn't show that there's that much of a difference. Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. So, basics out of the way that everybody kind of would assume. You'd see as, Amos would be there. I don't need to necessarily describe them. You already know what they look like. But you'd also see a massive individual in this crazy amounts of metal and steel with this almost insectoid head before them. You would see... I don't think there's... You only have two other characters, right? In Aurora, or am I crazy?
I still have Deathmonger.
Well, yeah, already Deathmonger and then Amos.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rodan. Because there's Rodan as well.
Yeah, you just love the fucking deathly metal and shit. You would also see another individual with this strange sort of, or helmet and such with a sort of, was it wood? No, it was steel kind of placed amongst their head. Massive sort of chain sword and more. But behind or kind of around Nafro, a little bit closer towards him, you'd see a sort of figure, kind of arms crossed, kind of just sort of sitting around, kind of not necessarily aimlessly looking about and staring off into space. No, not this one. This individual is calm, they're collected, and just kind of watching as all things play out, as if they're sort of a passenger in this whole endeavor. They seem to kind of move every now and again compared to the other ones. Not aimless, but with purpose. That is what you see. As the mark
What
begins to activate,
look
and then...
like?
Would I be able
go
to
ahead.
describe?
Sorry.
Sorry. So I'm able to describe what the voice looks like, or at least
It's it's like a hologram, you know? An astral hologram is what they would be able to see.
But I could go into some kind of description of their own, like,
Physical features that, like, without, like, really much of color and all that sort of stuff to distinguish a lot of things. Again, just like a hologram. Like a very, very makeshift hologram.
Because Fabio would specifically be looking for any kind of iconography, would be looking for... I don't know to which extent he can see this right now, but he's basically trying to figure out if this is like some kind of devil, if this is some kind of aberration, if it's some kind of... what type of creature this might be. If it's a creature, just trying to understand what's up in here.
So let me
if
see if I
this
can
thing
find
could
it.
be trusted
I'll be right back.
in
All right.
any kind of capacity.
This is a... oh no, it's probably a little bit worse than this. Okay. Alright. I get it. It's not the greatest example, but alright. So when I mean by like details and all that sort of stuff, it'd be kind of like this, for the lack of a better sort of term. If you open up the session voice chat, alright, kind of like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So like
It's like
the others would be...
you can't make details out of it. You can't really see too many symbols. It's just like you see kind of what it is, like the shape, right?
Okay.
So things like hair and clothes and stuff like that would still be viewable.
You view it, but you wouldn't be able to tell like the super finite details of like a logo or text and all that stuff. Nah.
Okay.
So, one thing is that it kind of the shape that it is would shift, most likely due to this being perceived appearance of what the voice thinks they look like. You would see the shape of a young man, a very, very, though you can't see exact like features, very androgynous, quite feminine looking young man with really beautiful flowing hair, and sort of this loose, very regal in appearance clothing. You can't get color, but there's... You get the idea that it would be like not bright or not dark, but something fancy. And a red, or well, you wouldn't see the red, but you just see simply a scarf around their neck. The only detail that is common among this hologram and Navro is that they are both wearing the exact same pair of riding boots. They have really just very a very feminine way of moving. They're a gay motherfucker. They move like a diva. He's sitting like legs, like one leg on the other. You know, this man looks like he's on RuPaul and he's winning.
So worse than Fabio?
Fabio, but evil. He's got that, like the body language.
Okay.
That body language is like a queer coded Disney villain energy. Like a lot.
I'm back.
Fabio dies. Just
You
no,
would see
Fabio
as
isn't
well,
real. Yeah.
and as well, you would see one thing is, the he would kind of put his one ear, he would kind of put his hair through his ear, behind his ear, but it's a bit difficult because he has the exact same tattered ears as Navro does. You would make that out. What other shapes are there? The thing is, you can see his bone and facial structure. It's the exact same as Navro's, but it's with that like level. It's with like body fat and muscle, and most importantly, like a level of youth. And he's beautiful. From the little details you can get, it's a very beautiful face. But their brow is furrowed. They look just naturally angry about something. You wouldn't be able to tell what too much else from the emotions, but you would see that. And they would also be carrying the same like driftwood staff that Navro does have as well. Now, Sensei, would Kabza notice that he's being watched right now?
Well, let me make a perception check for them.
Can I make some? Well, yeah.
Alright, making sure. Oh, okay. Not that high. Plus this. Yes. Okay, cool. Oh, funny enough, I love that number. 22. They would.
Even if Fabio's being quite slick about it, that's okay.
Oh,
Alright,
no.
cool.
That's not the reason why. It's more of endless expanse, endless abyss. And out of the nothingness, out of the boredom and more, the fuck is that? The first thing you see is Fabio enter this sort of realm for a brief moment out of the endless nothingness that this individual stands in. It's more so you didn't really have a chance or whatever of getting away with that one. They may have noticed, doesn't necessarily mean the other one notices.
You see the head just like kind of fingers on the chin, just turn for a second, look. Who else is there? Well, no, that'll be the, yeah. Who else is there? You would notice as well. It is like, or would Fabio still hear this?
Nah, you wouldn't be able to hear him. You wouldn't be able to hear him unless like they're speaking using the stuff or whatever, right? But yeah, it's just motions.
In that case, in this particular instance, it would just like be looking around like frantically, like take out the staff, and as well like the axe head that Navro had gotten when he had woken up, and just like holding it like an improvised weapon. He's ready to like draw blood, but just nothing's there.
As if Fabio sees that this entity is stirring, he would cut the connection right away.
Easy enough.
You say the higher person. Did you actually meet this? So you said you met them. Are they some kind of wizard as well?
Yes, yeah, like Navro's kind of like looking around, though.
Yeah, like I can't remember exactly what the last thing you said was, but like Fabio would just like pick up the conversation right away and like keep it going, keep working.
Yes, he was a divination wizard.
Divination. I've met a few of those. They have quite interesting abilities, and we can parse out the future and whatnot, or at least figure out threads of the future. It's a little close to the kind of magic you do, isn't it?
You see Navro close his eyes and, like, kind of straighten out, lean back a little. You're a funny one, aren't you?
Yes, darling. Haven't you noticed yet?
You've got a lot of good things going for you. But between you and me, and kind of sort of like in a subtle way, like keeping the conversation just to them, do not meddle in my private affairs. I saw you for a second. Don't you fucking try and get away with it. I like you. And I think you're a very intriguing individual. But don't ruin this. I need to get in there. I need to build rapport with people. Because if I don't get my revenge. Do you understand me? Nothing matters more.
So to whom am I speaking to right now, then?
You may call me Kabza, sweetie.
Hamza. Nice to finally make your acquaintance. Darling, I know very well that you were hiding in that little noggin of yours. But don't mistake me. I don't want to put any barriers in your revenge. It doesn't suit me. But I do want to know who I have the pleasure of traveling with. And if that means that I have to go bouncing around in your head to figure it out,
No.
I certainly
More
will.
of that. There's enough fucking people in here already. More than one. You want to know something?
Yes.
The fucking liar. As smart as he is, he doesn't know the first goddamn thing. This is my body. Mine. You know what he'll tell you? That he died surrounded by friends and family. While he looked at an eclipse as it took away his whole city. Do you know what the first and only memories that I have are?
Tell me.
The exact same thing. The same shapes of the same people. The same city. Now, either he's a liar, or there's something more. Now, I'd have already broke his fucking teeth, ripped him out of my mind, and erased him from existence, but I've got no one else from my own world. Gotta have company around, and he agrees.
Sounds quite lonely.
Lonely, yeah. But we're kindred spirits in a sort. We're the only two people from our own world. Now, I don't mind you knowing about me, honey, but I'm not one to bother with morals. I get what I want. And you're not gonna get in the way of that. You're not doing that. Because what I say goes. I'm willing to compromise on smaller things, but my vengeance is mine. You're a nice person. It's your greatest strength, and it's your greatest weakness. you're gonna get fucked over by somebody who's gonna use that against you. Unless you're as wise as I like to think you are. But good faith can only do so much.
Darling, you misunderstand. You think that I don't know that everybody has secrets and secret desires. Of course I understand that. That's why I poked around in there before introducing you to my friend from the kindred spirits. Just because I look ditzy from the outside doesn't mean that I don't have things firing in my brain as well. But you don't have to worry. I'm not here to hinder you in your plans, as you said. We might even be allies. Perhaps we even want the same thing. Don't come at me with aggression and fear like you have. Don't worry. I won't mention our little conversation here. I just wanted to know who I had the pleasure of interacting with. Well,
So the way that we're angled right now, nobody else from the group would be able to see us, correct? Or at least they would be able to see Navro's face with the wide, with the big fucking hat he's wearing.
and also Fabio would have been angling us towards a spot that was kind of out of the way.
Yeah, that's
without
fine.
showing that he was angling them away.
That's fine. But one thing you would notice, just like both of you, no perception checks needed. You would notice as some figure or a couple are approaching rapidly from the skies and other sort of means.
Then I guess I'll make this very quick. You would see Kobza kind of lean in closer, and this is kind of a consent thing to Cat. You don't mind Kobza doing slightly romantic-ish stuff, right?
Oh, I mean, anybody can flirt with Fabio. That's everybody's got blanket consent on that.
Okay.
We already handled all that. Or Cat already handled all that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for asking.
Just making sure. Then you would see Kobza say, "That's why I first talked to you. I knew I could trust you. I have good judgment like that, and I'm hoping we can do a lot richer." And you would see, I don't know how subtle Navro can do this, but he's going to, for just 10 seconds, cast Alter Self on himself, and you would see his what little stubble he has disappears, but the hair on his head, despite being underneath the wizard hat, grows into this beautiful white, platinum blonde white hair, the kind of consistency and smoothness that you see in a L'Oreal commercial, right? Nice, damn, he uses conditioner every fucking he's got all the chemicals, man. Damn. His all the hair on his face is gone. He has beautiful kind of shoulder length flowing hair. You would see his skin rejuvenate into really beautiful luster, slightly tan in some places, little freckles here and there. The fat and the muscle of his body actually comes back for just a second, and he is really beautiful. He's slightly bushy eyebrows. He's gorgeous, very feminine, very, very androgynous. You hadn't already known that Navro was a guy. It would be kind of hard to tell. And his eyes are still the same bright orange, but they're normal. And that's kind of the biggest change. No longer does he have these soulless black irises. He has these eyes that are full of life and look at you with kinship. But they almost look right through you all the same. And with what he said last, he gives you a little peck on the cheek in this beautified form before noticing the rustling and with a shake of the head lets it go back to his usual alopecic necrotic self. I'll be in touch.
And with that,
I can't wait, darling.
Before he stands up and goes to meet.
and with that, Pete, can I show them or no?
The
thing.
because
or no?
No.
You got it.
That's quite different.
You got it.
Hmm.
And with that, as you begins to continue off and prepare your soul for what's to come, then that is where we will have to end this session. All right. With that, my friends, thank you guys for everybody who was able to play. I do need to talk to you guys a little bit after the session for a couple of things that I got. A couple big announcements for you guys so that I can sort of barrel through. So I'm going to quickly end stream here, and we're going to talk about that in just 1 second. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, thank you everybody for everyone who was able to tune into the stream today. You guys are freaking fantastic as usual. Good stuff, good stuff. We don't have to raid anybody, I don't believe. Let me just quickly check. I don't think so. Yeah, we're good. Oh wait, we do raid into Playing Art Allies. So, all right, I'm gonna raid into them. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys. I'm gonna